You don't know me and we'll never meet. I had a problem like you once. I drank and used to party a little too much till it got out of control and almost ruined my life. I realized I needed help to fix my problem before it totally destroyed me. If you've tried to fix your drinking and drug problem and you know you can't do it alone, you need to call the National Treatment Advisors. They'll immerse you into a 30-day program to replace your old habits with new habits and totally change your life. And if you have PPO private health insurance, the entire program may be covered. Fix your problem right now before it gets any worse. Get clean. Call now and learn more. 800-296-1252. 800-296-1252. 800-296-1252. 800-296-1252.
MoJo 50. The question isn't who's going to let us. The question is who's going to stop us. Adjust your mojo now. Thank you. The mothership has landed. Doc Thompson. Brad Staggs. Almighty MoJo 50.
Well, yeah, it's Monday. It's National Frog Jumping Day. It's National Apple Pie Day. National Women's Checkup Day. I'd like to check her up, you know what I'm saying? See how we can make anything dirty. It's National Fruit Cocktail Day, too. Just in case you were wondering. National Crouton Day. It's going to be one of those days, by the way, that... you ever get to where you realize you just can't focus on one thing, and you've got to just
I've noticed you've swapped out the moon in the book about 3 times this morning.
I've just this is going to be one of those days where I'm going to be flitting from limb to limb. So good luck, hang on, buckle up, and all of that good stuff. Did you do anything exciting over the weekend?
Oh, we had Mother's Day.
I said, did you do anything exciting?
We had Mother's Day. I had fun. Mom, I didn't get to go out with my mom this weekend, but I'm going to do that this week.
Wow.
Misty and I and her mom went out on Saturday night. But no, I mean, I worked on our website, and
you lead a pretty exciting life.
I do not.
Almost as exciting as mine. I battled carpet moths. I think the neighbors thought that some little 10-year-old girl was being attacked because I screamed like a little girl when I turned over the carpet moths. Woo! When you've got an infestation of those in an Oriental wool rug, let me just tell you, them little bastards like to have sex and multiply a lot. And they are, I'll tell you that story. The other thing, I guarantee you that I did something over the weekend that maybe 10 other people on the planet did. Maybe.
What?
I repaired the. See, you were about to, when you were in here earlier, Ron, you were about to
I almost opened it.
You tried to open my little box here. And by the way, we need to get you Bella in there because I can't do all of this at the same time. I was working on a collapsible silk top hat, as in magic.
What?
Isn't that cool? See, for those of you listening, this is the typical magician. I've always loved these little top hats that they collapse down on themselves and you can pop them back up. But this was...
Was that one messed up?
It had literally come apart at the seams. Because these things, this is probably in 1905, 1910, somewhere in that area. They made these when these were still popular. Obviously, no one wears a silk top hat anymore that collapses.
Or that small.
Or I know this dude had a tiny little head. A tiny little head. And you know the reason they collapsed, right?
No.
So when you wore the top hat, the traditional evening wear to, say, the opera, and you had no place to put it. You couldn't wear it because the guy behind you couldn't see.
Correct.
So you would collapse it down and put it under your seat. That's why they collapsed. It made it much easier to store.
So you had to restitch it?
I had to restitch, and I was the top. These things are made. I mean, you couldn't afford to make and sell these things today if it wasn't for machines, because these were all done by hand, and the top is stitched to the brim of the hat. And let me tell you, there's about 1 million pieces of this thing, and I realized they did this when there were no machines to do it. So it was somebody sitting there with a needle and thread and a thimble. I did learn how to I know what thimbles are for now.
Yeah, hell yeah.
Let me just say that. So I repaired this.
That's
top
pretty
hat.
cool. What allows that to pop open like that?
Oh, it's a complex system of springs and things inside there.
That's really cool.
It's really neat. But I was thinking about this because earlier we were talking about the book that Brandon got on Suspicious Package Friday, and the fact that they'll pop ups and they're very intricate. Yep. It's Da Vinci and how today you just punch in a few numbers on a computer and it pops out a book like this. So, by the way, kudos to the Jackhole Nation for making this the surprise of or not a surprise to Brandon. So we're going to keep doing it. We'll get something else this week, and I'll let y'all know what it is. And then you can all guess what it is before he opens it. We'll continue to blow his mind. I think probably about week 3 or 4, he'll figure, hey, how do they know? How
you
do
can
they
bet,
know?
You can bet Brandon's sawing logs right now.
Yes. Yes, he is. And not listening to this. By the way, on the studio wall behind me, we now have a shelf just below what we are referring to as the Sword of Iniquity. And there's a
which
little...
I can barely get in the scene.
Oh, there you go. It's got the glowing orb on it right now,
yeah,
and
the sword is above that.
That will be the shelf of honor for the suspicious package of the suspicious package Friday of the week. So if your suspicious package when you send it in is deemed to be worthy of the best suspicious package of the week, it'll sit on that shelf for the week.
There you go.
So you have a little incentive. You have a little other than just watching Brandon rip them open and like a kid on Christmas and playing with the wrapping paper. So there you have it. So there are our big shelf there on the back wall. We'll be doing that as well. Speaking of Mother's Day, I thought he deserves some kudos because Ben Affleck. I like Ben Affleck. He's dude has some issues. He's got some problems. He went on the Today Show ostensibly to talk about Mother's Day and the fact that he gets along with his ex-wife Jennifer Garner, and they were talking about Mother's Day and when you're of that status, they're not going to let you just come on and talk about Mother's Day.
Right.
They're gonna dig up something about you, and they asked him about his alcoholism. Here's what he said.
Yeah, some people are sort of uncomfortable. Doesn't really bother me to talk about alcoholism and being an alcoholic. It's part of my life. It's something that I deal with. It doesn't have to sort of subsume my whole identity and be everything, but it is something that you have to work at, and I feel like I had a problem and I really want to address it, and I take some pride in that, and I hope that
by the way, while he's doing all that, they've got a lower third on there. It's supposed to be an interview about this triple threat, which we've talked about on Netflix and Chill Fridays. Affleck and Charlie Hunnam, talking about the new film. But he gets a little sidetracked. I'm thinking Charlie Hunnam is sitting next to him going, dude, shut up. Let's talk about
your life, your family, and, people, we encounter these kinds of hurdles, and we have to deal with them.
Well, like you said, fighting for your family is important. How do you think you are as a dad? What kind of a dad are you?
I hope I'm a pretty good dad. I certainly try very hard. I'm lucky they got a great mom, and she helps out a great deal with, making sure that we co-parent in as good a way as possible. But, I think, dads are so important to kids, and it's our responsibility to be there for them and to be present, to be mindful, to be attentive, to be part of their lives, to be as in it as moms. And that's really, the central preoccupation of my life. The focus of my life is what I love doing. It's what makes me happy. And the rest of the stuff, kind of follows. And
I wanted to play that because he brings up a good point. First of all, the fact that he and he's going through the divorce, or I guess got divorced from Jennifer Garner, but the fact that they get along and are able to put their crap aside to raise the kids, that's a good thing. If more couples could do that, be a lot less messed up kids in the world. Know what I'm saying? I wanted to give kudos, and I thought he did a good job kind of outlining a dad's responsibility in a kid's life, especially when they were allowed to do so. So there you go. Kudos. You are staring at something in there. What are you staring at?
I'm looking at your screen.
Oh, are you looking? Are you looking at the little feeties?
The little feet.
Yeah, this is the only reason I bring this up.
Little Archie.
Yeah, that's an unusual. You know what? No one
doesn't sound like
ladies and gentlemen, the Lord and Lady Archie. It's I don't know, kind of a interesting take on the name. Meghan and Prince Harry decided to share photos of the royal baby to mark first Mother's Day, and I just wanted to bring this up because that is one of the most horribly framed pictures I've ever seen in my life. That is supposed to be, unless it's just a crop of their Instagram image, that over on the right-hand side is just a strange-looking, it's a hand and the little feet of Archie. Well, it's the hand of Meghan, I guess, and the feet of Archie. But the tiny little baby's feet are so cute. You know, given that they're feet anyway. But it's just kind of, don't you think it's a strange framing of a shot? I mean, it's just
They wanted the flowers in the background.
There aren't any flowers. That's a tree. Those are leaves. There's nothing there that's... It's the worst. It's apparently when you're a royal... Well, of course, they're not taking their own pictures. They got some flunky to do that for them. They got somebody that follows them around all day and does their social media for them. Because, you know, they're so busy working.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, they've got stuff to do. They can't possibly be bothered with taking pictures. I would be firing my social media photographer today if that's the picture they put up on Instagram. Because it sucks. By the way, also, if they did this intentionally or not, if you match it up with the photo next to it of Meghan with what looks to, I don't know if that's her arm going up, but it looks like her left arm is on her right arm hand. See, the thumb is on the wrong side. If that arm is coming out of the picture on the left.
That's not her. That's somebody standing next to her.
But then again.
It does look like it,
It does look strange. And we'll tweet out the image here so you can take a look, especially if you're driving. Believe me, this is infinitely more interesting than the car that's in front of you. Which, by the way, there was a guy. What is it with traffic in Dallas?
Yeah.
Do they go to a school that teaches them to be a-holes?
Yeah.
There was a guy who...
we have Drive Like a Texan.
Guy cut me off. I mean, literally, almost ran me into the center divider because he wanted to go 110, and I honked at him, and he rolled down his back window. I think he was trying to impress me. It's like, dude, my truck window, it rolls down too. So, whatever. But I laid on the horn for 10 seconds. Like, it could have been a really bad situation. Oh, it was... I don't know what's happening. It's going to be part of the downfall of society, not teaching drivers ed in school and not teaching people how to be courteous on the road. And nobody knows what flashing your brights into them when you come up behind them in the fast lane. I told you it was going to be one of those days. I warned you. And it's going to be all over the place. In Maine, they had a big, let's see, was this happen on Friday? Big brouhaha. They are trying to get some new gun legislation passed in Maine up there, trigger locks, gun safe, background checks, and to loosen the restrictions on the use of deadly force. There is some law up there, I think they amended it, that you had to, it's the stand your ground. You used to be forced to retreat if someone was coming after you. It was where did it go? You had to, lawmakers also heard testimony on a bill that would create so-called stand your ground provision in the law. Current law requires a person to retreat from a confrontation with another individual during an attempted crime if the opportunity presents itself. Right. And I'm all about, if the first thing you need to do is get the hell away from the crazy person. But when the law requires you to get away, you gotta love the government. That's Maine for you. Which brings me to my next point, that being Tar River Arms has put some new personal protection devices up on their website. The Smith & Wesson Model 642, the Centennial Airweight. This thing is really cool, and we're looking at it in the, you're missing so much, by the way, if you're not, it has to load, there we go. If you're not watching us on MoJo 50 TV. This is the 360-degree view that you can get on Tar River Arms. It's almost hypnotic. Mine's jumping a little bit because I have about 800 windows open. So this computer's actually doing very, very well. But this is the 360-degree view that you can find on Tar River Arms website. Just go to tarriverarms.com. It's treguns.com. And find out, this is the hammerless model, so it doesn't get hung up on stuff, especially ladies if you're carrying this in your purse. or for that matter, men, if you're carrying this in your purse, I don't, no judgment, whatever. The hammer's not going to get snagged up on stuff. That's a good-looking gun right there. 6 rounds. It's a 380, 38 caliber.
I started to say that looks like a 38.
It's a 38.
Yeah. I love that grip.
Me too. It's it's a stainless steel finish. It has a double action synthetic. It's a synthetic rubber grip. So now we know a little something more about Ron, guy behind the glass. Likes that synthetic rubber grip. So Smith & Wesson Model 642. It's the Centennial Airweight. You get it at TRE Guns and at a substantial little discount, by the way, as well. I think over $100 off the suggested retail price. All right, let's find out what. That's an interesting picture.
What in the hell? What is that?
It's really bad close up. No one looks good that close.
Looks like you're blowing out a candle,
doesn't it? It's. I think that's when Doc and I were eating spotted dick. That's when we were
nasty.
Yeah, actually, that was pretty good. Which, by the way, brings me to my. Who tweeted that? Oh, Stinky did. This is the guy who would fire his social media person if they put up a bad photo of him. I didn't take
Stinky
that.
Was on top of it this morning. He's like, oh,
picture.
snap, I got a picture. Let me show this image.
That is, who took that one? I think Chef Patrick took that picture.
He may have. Can you tell where it was taken?
It was in the kitchen. Yeah, I know exactly where it was taken because that was the day that, actually, I think that's my, that is my Twitter handle picture.
You guys were trying to
it was a day and this I wanted this is as good a time as any to bring this up because this kind of made it real. I'm going to call Doc's cell phone.
Welcome to Verizon Wireless. The number you dialed has been changed, disconnected, or is no longer in service. If you feel you have reached this,
which that kind of sealed it up for. It's been a weird. It used to be when you call Doc's cell phone, leave a message. Keep in mind, all messages may be played on the air. And now that I don't know how long he had that phone number. I know it was for a long time.
Yeah.
And now it is disconnected. Almost makes me want to get that phone number, find out who calls it. That kind of brought it. That made it real.
Yeah.
Because when the cell phone, I've called his cell phone a few times just to hear that message. Of course, his voicemail box there at the end was full.
You know what?
Never returns a message, but
my voicemail box is telling me that it's full.
It's telling you that you're full
but
of it.
I don't have any. I've cleared everything off of my phone.
You need to go into the deleted messages and clear them out of there. You need to get a different phone.
I need to call Verizon and go, what in the hell is going on?
Throw that one away. It's disposable now. Just throw it away.
No jackholes can leave me messages at this moment.
Right. Well, sometimes that's not a bad thing. Jackhole Angry Beaver just tweeted using the hashtag what I learned today. By the way, do that. That way we can track you. We know where you are. In the moth defense, who doesn't like to have sex and multiply? You got that half right. Pink effing Freud, you bitches. Did he?
Is that it?
Guess what? Pink Floyd got a new account on Twitter.
That's it, you bitches.
And y'all dadgum Texicans keep bringing that dumb driving shit to my little town. He lives in Rediso, New Mexico, which is just outside of Albuquerque, I think.
Yeah. Hey, you know what else I did this weekend?
Oh, boy.
Boom, look at that.
What you did? Oh, that's right. Your truck. Your little graphic on the back window of your truck.
I put a little graphic on the back window of my truck.
That looks
Mind-altering talk radio. All three logos. Yeah.
Did you do that by yourself?
I did it in Photoshop.
Oh.
I did it in Photoshop and then had them print it.
No. I mean, did you apply it to the back?
I applied it.
Did you really?
Yeah.
You don't look that talented.
Oh, my God.
It's a little crooked.
Was it? No, it's not.
No, it actually looks very good. I'm surprised.
Thanks.
You're welcome.
Although I should have used a bigger font.
Well, there's that. You'll have people rear-ending you now just wanting to read your rear window. As long as that guy that was behind me on the freeway doesn't come up behind you, you should be good.
Yeah.
JR15 just tweeted, someone driving like an effing maniac. It was the ghost of Doc Thompson show. Doc wasn't a horrible driver. The problem was he just got distracted easily. He'd start talking to you, and he'd say, just watch the road, would you? Watch the road. You're going to get one of us hurt. Surprise. The dude and Deuce with the Deuce 5 with the flailing arms. A reference to Beto. He just tweeted the guy had a little head. Dude had a little bitty head. And the guy from what was the movie? Beetlejuice. I knew that. Bad weekend to be in Chicago. Man. Last week's total, 14 people shot and killed, 45 people shot and wounded, 59 total people shot, and 14 homicides. Yeah, go
That's
Chicago.
last week's total?
That is the week of 5/5 through 5/11.
Wow. So that meant that 14 of them happened last week.
Yes,
14 of the 16.
Well, yeah, I mean,
Holy crap.
The first 5 days of May, you only had 2 people shot, and then they made up for it last week. So things pretty much staying on track in Chicago. Good for them. Shot and killed total year to date, 150, 617 shot and wounded. Total shot for 2019 so far, 767. And so far to date in Chicago, Illinois, 161 homicides. Good for them. Person is shot every 4 hours and 8 minutes there. They're murdered every 19 hours and 32 minutes. That is what makes Dominic Izzo's show so good.
Sounds like Game of Thrones.
It does, really. Which, by the way, I think that's part of the reason my neck hurts today. That stressed me out so bad last night.
That was a very stressful show last night.
Yeah, it was. Well, we'll talk about that in a second. But Dominic Izzo, if you haven't listened to Izzo yet, he's on every evening, and that's at 7 Central.
Nope, 7
Eastern. I hate time. We should abolish time zones, by the way. Along with
Texas is looking at changing that whole
time zone.
No, changing the whole shift.
Oh, that
Arizona does.
Well, we should abolish time zones. It should be the same time all around the world at the same time. It would make things so much nicer.
So your 12 noon may not be
whatever.
Maybe somebody else's.
Absolutely. It's 12 noon. You know what's easier than trying to figure out these damn time zones? Make sure you listen to the rants of Izzo. He's on every evening at 7 Eastern.
Correct.
And if you haven't listened, do not listen if you are the type who would consider
if you
yourself
are weak of mind.
Oh, yeah, just don't do it, because all he'll do is he'll reduce you to a quivering mass of jelly on the floor, which he's it's like nothing you've ever heard. I swear to you, this is, and I've said this more times than not, Dominic Izzo is he's like nobody I've ever met. First of all, I love that little guy. I just love that little guy.
He's got such a specific outlook on things.
Yes, he does.
And what's good about it is that he just speaks his mind.
Yes,
it is like he opens his mouth and
good, bad, or indifferent
just flows out. You know,
it does. But
he's always. I mean, he's pretty much right every time he opens his mouth.
My dad would have called that diarrhea of the mouth.
Diarrhea of the mouth.
But in this case, it's a good thing because and then there's it's like a box of chocolates reference. You never know what you're going to get. Don't combine those two. That's just disgusting. So the rants of Izzo tonight, 7 o'clock Eastern, MoJo 50 radio. And MoJo, is he still doing it on the TV thing?
Yep.
Or is he? Okay.
Yep. He is on MoJo 50 TV.
He couldn't,
MoJo50TV.com.
He couldn't stand not seeing himself. Is that what it was?
That is not it. There were a couple of weeks where all he did was put up a splash screen.
That's because he was having the facelift and he didn't want people to see the bruises.
He didn't want people to see the bruises.
Eating habits have changed. Modern dining is now a solo affair in a lot of cases. Ever eaten alone at a restaurant?
Yes.
Does it feel weird?
No, I enjoy it.
How about the meal? Does that feel weird?
No. Why would the meal feel weird?
Well, just always, there's a stigma surrounding, eating by yourself. It's like, oh, you couldn't get a date to eat with you? Oh, look, the poor guy's eating by himself. But it's one of those things where it's a whole lot easier to control exactly what you're eating. You don't have to worry about who you're eating in front of, etc.
Right.
It could actually have some hidden health benefits, too. Might even be able to lose weight. Of course, it's not going to do it on its own. You need a little extra something, and that extra something would be Riduzone. If you go to riduzone.com, you'll find out about Riduzone, aptly enough, and the little OEA molecule, OEA. Yeah, I said that right, didn't I? The OEA molecule that not only can help you feel fuller faster, but also will help speed up that sluggish metabolism that slows down like Mitch McConnell. Go to riduzone.com and use promo code MoJo. You'll save some money. Coming up next, more of your Daily Mojo.
Happily promoting the 4 F's: freedom, faith, free markets, and fun. MoJo 50.
I'm Mike Opelka from PureOpelka.com. Here's your 2-minute drill. Well, the Democrats and the climate madness people have succeeded in scaring kids so badly that they're actually skipping school. Yes, skipping school. We heard on MSNBC last week from a group of children who have decided it's more important for them to show up at some dumb UN environmental protest than it is to actually go to school and get educated. Listen to one 12-year-old who was heard on TV.
So I've been skipping school for 11 weeks now, and it is a sacrifice that we have to make because we are missing important things, but we realize that if we don't skip this school, we might not have a future, so we need to.
So we need to. We need to what? You need to show up for class. And she's not the only one doing this dumb thing, lest you think I'm cherry-picking just one student. There were more.
And even at your age, what does this have you thinking about sort of in a bigger picture?
So it kind of makes me think that in the 2020 election, I'm scared for my future. I'm scared that the politicians won't be declaring a climate emergency, won't be taking climate action. That's why, because I can't personally vote, and I'm begging my parents to vote for the candidate that wants climate action.
Congratulations, Democrats. You're now officially the party that wants kids not to go to school, not to get educated. You want them cowering in the corner, fearful of everything. Testudo, my friends. Testudo.
Mike Opelka's 2-minute drill is powered by MoJoWildRice.com. Their wild rice is a superfood, gluten, sodium, fat, and cholesterol-free, yet high in fiber, protein, zinc, phosphorus, and trace minerals. But you're going to love it because it's delicious. MoJoWildRice.com. MoJoWildRice.com.
The Daily Mojo.
Larky effing Farkin. I eat alone at restaurants a lot. Doesn't feel weird unless the hostess sits me at a table for 4 or more. Got sat at a table for 8 once.
By himself?
By himself. I
would have spread out all over that table.
That you would have. Which would answer the next question JR15 posed. The question is, how do we find a picture of Ron's ass? Don't ask. Just go with it. Why don't you just send him a picture? Apparently he likes you. You say we have a phone call? Yeah. Somebody on the phone? All right.
Yes, not sure who it is.
Hello, caller. You're on the air.
Good morning, Mr. Staggs. How are you?
I'm fabulous. Sounds like you are too.
I don't understand. We've had this discussion before. I don't understand why you keep bringing up that very bad man who does that show at night. I just don't like that, Mr. Izzo. Why do you like him so much?
There are so many reasons. The smallest of which, well, all I had today to say was the smallest of which, and you can take the rest of it to heart there. He's a good man, and I will defend him to the ends of the earth as long as he keeps paying me to do so.
He's a very dirty birdie. But Mr. Staggs, I love you. I was so nervous at MoJoCon. I didn't come up to meet you. Mm-hmm. But he's a bad man and a dirty birdie. But Mr. Staggs, I will always listen to you. You have my undying devotion.
I pay very dearly for it as well. So
have a great day, Mr. Staggs.
You stay fabulous. Stay fabulous. Again, today you just don't. Telling you, it's going to be like this for the next 2.5 hours. If you're listening to the podcast, just go ahead and fast forward to the end of it, and you'll get the recap. because otherwise you're going to have to sit through all of this. Saturday Night Live in their cold open.
Oh.
They were doing so well there for a couple of weeks, but this was who I don't even know who it is playing Chuck Todd. Not a very good Chuck Todd. And then there was one of them playing Lindsey Graham. Not a very good Lindsey Graham. Somebody else playing Mitch McConnell. Not a very good Mitch McConnell. And somebody else playing Susan Collins. And again, not a very good Susan Collins, but here's just a little snippet of it.
Do you still support him?
Well, we need a leader that's willing to do what he's got to do to win.
That's absolutely right. See, the best way to uphold the law is to be above it, Chuck.
That was supposed to be Lindsey Graham. That was a horrible Lindsey Graham right
She didn't
there.
even have the accent right.
No. Hey, y'all. It's just not, anyway.
What if he says Trump colluded with the Russians?
Well, I'd have to write a strongly worded email and send it straight to my draft folder.
That, of course, supposed to be Susan Collins, and may I make this statement now? Doc Thompson did a far better Susan Collins than this woman has ever dreamed of doing a Susan Collins. Not to be confused with a Tom Collins.
All right, next hypothetical. What if the president admits that he's not as religious as he claims?
Well, if you don't already know that, that's kind of on you, Chuck.
I don't know. This guy's doing a pretty good McConnell.
You think so?
I think so.
McConnell doesn't talk that fast.
Now, he might not talk that fast, but he looks like him. The way he's...
Okay.
I know on radio, but the bottom line is he's actually doing a pretty good one. My opinion.
Looks-wise, but no. I mean, I can wear a mask and look like anybody. It's the affectations. It's the speech pattern. That's what makes a good... that's an impersonator, rather. Just not. I just didn't think he did a good job. And the premise of this bit is, what would it take you to stop supporting President Trump? And then, of course, they, well, this, and that, and the other. None of them so far are funny.
He's not even Christian. He's Jewish.
Even better. That's great for Israel.
Yeah. I can think of another great man who was Jewish. Jesus
Sammy
Christ.
Davis Jr.
See, that was funny right there. That little snippet out of 7 minutes, that was a funny line. But that's it. I mean, the rest of them are just...
What if you found out President Trump was a Muslim?
A Muslim? Oh, just the thought of that makes me want to stress eat.
See, he's eating lettuce because he's a turtle. But again, he's not speaking slowly enough to be it makes me want to stress eat. No, makes me want to stress eat. Turtles don't talk that fast. Everyone knows that.
A minute, Chuck. Now, what kind of Muslim are we talking about? Are we talking about like Dr. Oz?
No, I mean like Louis Farrakhan.
All right, but do we still get those tax cuts?
You do.
Okay. Well, then I guess it's Salam Alaikum, Brother President.
They can't get out of their own way. They really can't. And it's the hatred for the president is so intense. They would rather do something that's not funny just to take swipes at him than actually to put some thought into making funny one-liners. Which is kind of sad, because I think there were a lot that they could have used that they actually missed. But then again, they don't pay me to be their consultant, do they? 52% of Republicans say that Joe Biden is too liberal, but 73% say that Bernie Sanders is too liberal. This, of course, coming from Republicans. The two leading Democrat candidates for president have one thing in common. Potential voters both think that they are both what? Ron? You're reading it. Stop reading ahead.
Oh, I'm not reading.
Oh, I forgot you can't read.
Yeah.
What do you think that the overwhelmingly they think that these two guys have in common?
No idea.
They're old.
Old white guys?
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Again, the party of inclusion and the two front runners are two old white guys. One just slightly more leftist than the other. Bernie's probably a lot more leftist than Joe. It's the very first thing they see of The Democrat primary voters, they say it's the first thing they think of as well. 7% of Democrat primary voters said Ole was the first thing that came to mind when they thought of Biden. This week, 10% say it's the first thing they think of when they hear Sanders' name, mainly because they're old and white. You think Biden would win today? If it were Trump and Biden on the ticket, who would win?
I still think Trump would win. But I think Biden. So of those that are trying to run for president on the Democratic side, Biden has probably caught the most hell. It seems for groping, but I mean, quite honestly, a lot of people will vote for Biden because he's been part of an administration before. Well, they think his expertise.
You hit on it. They are substitute the word experienced for old.
Correct.
That's what they do.
Yeah,
because he's experienced, and so that he would make a better president than Sanders.
Well, and a lot of people look at it like this: they didn't hear from Biden very much when he was Obama's VP. And they think they will not hear from him again, which is a nice respite from Donald Trump.
Oh no, they'll hear
for a lot of people, but they will hear from him.
Mainly, the job of who was it that said the job of vice president isn't worth a warm pitcher of piss? Who was it that it was somebody? I can't remember.
Somebody who's been a VP.
Well, ironically, or strangely, they in all the textbooks, because I remember learning this in high school, they changed it to the office of the vice president isn't worth a warm pitcher of spit.
Yeah.
Because we couldn't possibly take the real quote and put that in the textbooks, but it's true. I mean, the office of the vice president, it's like being one of the royals. You get to walk around and shake hands and kiss babies, and hey, it's good to be president. Couldn't make it. You got me. How you doing? But in the role, and Biden was.
So besides being president of the Senate, but what does the vice president do? Except for
shakes babies and kisses hands.
Except for wait for the president
to die.
Yeah. I mean, ultimately, they're there to take over. That's what it's for.
Yes, they are. Yeah. I mean, it's a thankless job. You get when there's something to be blamed for, you get it, and when
break ties in the Senate.
Yes. Well, there's that too. But generally, you are you get to travel. You get a lot of travel. Think about that. Not a bad job to have.
Swim naked in the pool.
Yes, you can. Did he do that when Johnson was naked? Ironically, Johnson. Was he president or vice president when he used to do that? Because I don't think that anyone would cared if the vice president had done that.
I don't remember, but I think he was president when he was having like cabinet meetings from the toilet.
Right.
Yo, throw me the toilet, baby.
Back in the day when you could be a man and be sitting on the throne while conducting a meeting in the Oval Office, or swimming naked in front of your White House assistants, if they were hot. Can't do that anymore. Times have changed. Speaking of changing, here are some lifestyle changes. If you'd like to have good health, get fat in your diet. The good fats. See, that's where we always get confused. Good fats like avocados, olive oil, fatty fish, and nuts are essential for immune system function. Even fat burning. They also help you feel full. They give you a glowing skin. Your skin is glowing today, Ron.
Why, thank you, Bradley.
You're very welcome. The second one, I do this every day. Get 7 to 9 hours of sleep every single night. Don't you do that?
Hell no.
Oh, yeah. I mean, every night.
I'm lucky if I bust out 5.
Getting up to pee every 2 hours, are you?
Nope. My Flomax works like a champ. Thank you.
What are you going to do in the apocalypse when you can't get your drugs?
Pee 5 times a night.
Uh-huh. Drink water like it's going out of style. Refer back to aforementioned Flomax. Get up and get moving. Vigorous exercise is essential. Heavy lifting for an hour can't undo the negative effects of sitting for the entire rest of the day. In fact, a recent study found some of exercise benefits were negated by prolonged periods of sitting. And that's just 4 of the things that you can do to improve your quality of life. Those are the things that you will find that might be suggested as part of the Doc Thompson Healthy Lifestyle Challenge. That's Gwen Rich and crew over at The Rich Solution. If you go to therichsolution.com, you'll find her story. You'll also find a link to the Doc Thompson Healthy Lifestyle Challenge over on Facebook. If they ever get unmuted, unbelievable.
All because she posted a video with Tucker Carlson, we believe, right?
Yeah, I mean, who knows? I mean, it's again, we're hoping that she gets
What cracks me up is what we do every day on this station and on Facebook. Knock on wood, we haven't been banned. I mean, we haven't been shut down.
No, but they've severely throttled us.
They throttled us. There's no question about that.
Are you suggesting that this is something nefarious that Gwen has done to cause her?
I don't think so. Not at all.
What are you casting aspersions on the character of Gwen Rich?
No.
Wow, Adam, I don't know if you're listening or not, but if I were you, I'd be on a plane right now. I wouldn't put up with that kind of crap from anybody. Now, Facebook is a progressive wasteland, and I know it's the migration to me, all of that stuff.
I'm almost done with our new website, so we'll be able to move everything over there.
And that's a good thing.
Yeah.
But in the meantime, if you can get over there to the Doc Thompson Healthy Lifestyle page on Facebook with The Rich Solution, you'll find some more great tips for improving your life. It's about the quality of life. I mean, who the hell wants to live forever if it hurts to pee and you start to stink? Just saying, things to consider. TheRichSolution.com, a proud sponsor right up until this moment of this program. Commentary on SNL, Rocky with an eye over in the MeWe chat room. See, I don't ignore you. SNL stopped being funny since the early 2000s, maybe. What a train wreck. Occasionally, they'll bust out something funny. We try to give them credit, and there were just a couple of little reward good behavior. That's my motto. And remember to punish bad behavior.
I haven't watched it since Will Ferrell, Sherry O'Terry. You remember,
I don't watch it. I just want to look for the highlights after. I can't sit. Is it 60 or 90 minutes now? 60, right? Used to be 90 minutes.
Is it not 90 minutes anymore?
Is it? I don't know. I don't watch.
Comes on at 10:30. I thought it went off at midnight. Maybe not.
Backyard cows. Ugh, that is the worst Lindsey Graham I've ever seen. It is. I get what they were going for, having the woman be the Lindsey. I get it, but then she tried to be too manly. It just didn't work. If you're going to do it, do it.
I started to say she could have used her own voice octave.
That would have been funnier
and been good.
Y'all. It just would have. Yes, Doc did a much better Muffin Cumberpatch. I wonder when he'll be returning from his Florida vacation. I don't know. We can't even get a hold of him anymore. It's just like he's on the beach and lazy son of a. He's probably just laying there. I'll bet you he's just laying right there. I'll bet. Some people, you just can't count on them to show up.
Catching some rays.
Here's a weird one. A man suspected of child sex abuse turns himself in to Oregon authorities after 23 years on the run.
What, did he just get tired of running?
I don't know, but I mean, he looks like a fine, upstanding citizen.
No,
when
he
you see
doesn't.
the picture of him,
he does not at all.
I mean, he's got just finely chiseled features and doesn't look at all like it looks like a dirty Santa Claus beard, and he just. They didn't release his name, but they said the man suspected in multiple cases of sex abuse turned himself into Oregon authorities. 23 years on the run. Oh, there is his name. Wayne Arthur Silsby. Of the West Portland Silsbys, no doubt. He's 62. He's been wanted since the mid-'90s for allegedly sexually assaulting several female victims between the ages of 8 and 10 that he was acquainted with. According to FBI, he walked into the Oregon City Police Department on Friday afternoon and turned himself in. Silby knew the victims from either babysitting them or having taken them to various events, according to the FBI.
Are those his wanted pictures from over the years? Oh, no. Well, yeah. I mean, those are different images of him. Yeah.
Well, see, he was
they all say captured now.
Good-looking man there. Good-looking man, that Arthur Silsby. Charges against Silsby include sodomy, sexual abuse, unlawful penetration, and endangering the welfare of a child. The assaults allegedly occurred between 95 and April 96 in Clackamas County. They issued an arrest warrant for him back in 1996. They say they don't know why he turned himself in. No idea. But let me just tell you this. If I'm assuming
I
he's
bet
still
we find out he's dying.
Maybe.
And he's trying to make peace.
Well, let me just tell you, he'll get a piece if he ends up going to prison because they won't put up with that in prison.
That's a fact.
He will get what's coming to him. They are holding him right now on $50,000 bail at the Clackamas County Jail. He will appear in court this afternoon. It's unclear if he has retained an attorney or not. So I guess we'll find out. Speaking of fine upstanding citizens, and I thought this was rather appropriate in light of last night's Game of Thrones episode. A man named, his nickname was Sovereign. He took a machete to a couple on the Appalachian Trail. He calls himself charged with attacking two Appalachian Trail hikers with a machete, killing one of them just weeks after he pleaded guilty to threatening other trekkers and was then set free. James Jordan of West Yarmouth, Massachusetts, knifed an unidentified man and woman early Saturday morning in an isolated stretch of the 2,000-mile hiking trail that runs through Wythe County, Virginia. Or as I like to say, Whitey County, Virginia. The man died and the woman seriously injured. The U.S. Attorney's Office for that area said it's a senseless and brutal attack, but did not provide any other details. He attacked them with a machete. That is, there's a lot going on with that. When you start, knife attacks are heinous for a lot of reasons, but they are just, there's a lot going on in that guy's head, and none of it's good. He faces one count of murder with special maritime territorial jurisdiction. I mean, one more time on that. He faces one count of murder within the special maritime territorial jurisdiction of the United States. The special maritime territorial jurisdiction of the United States. Never heard of that? I'm sure one of the jackholes will explain it because I have no idea. He's allegedly been menacing people on the trail, which is in the midst of its high season for weeks. Can you imagine? Because you'd know if you were one of the people that he had, quote unquote, menaced in the past few weeks. Can you imagine seeing his picture in the paper, finding out what he did, and thinking, oh, crap, that's the same guy?
That could have been me. Absolutely.
Holy shnikes.
Wow. Now,
what?
Unless you're carrying a gun, you have very little that you can do against a machete attack.
There's one thing you can do. It's run like hell.
Yeah. Oh, well, yeah.
That's it. You're right, because he starts, I mean, you can't use
get too close to him that he can't swing it.
Oh, you're still going to get cut, though.
You're going to get cut. Yeah.
All it takes is one well-placed cut, and you're gone. But that's just, that is some heinous stuff on the Appalachian Trail. Not good at all. By the way, I noticed this. We have some new ad copy, as they say in the business here, sitting on top of the desk at MoJo 50. At the top, it says Patriot Mobile May 2019 radio copy, Ron. And then the line right below that says, note, when saying A in Patriot, a long A is used.
1-800-A-PATRIOT.
It says here. It said, first of all, they're getting rid of the phone number.
Oh,
but when saying A in Patriot, a long A is used.
Patriot?
No, it's Patriot, but that means somebody was saying Patriot.
Patriot. Oh, Patriot.
Yeah, when saying the A in Patriot, a long A
they were
is
saying
used.
Patriot?
Apparently they were. Otherwise, this note would not exist. So my question is, who was saying Patriot?
It could have been somebody on MoJo 50. We all know what Patriot is.
Well, then, okay, this is an internal memo. So
internal memo.
So somebody internally here has been saying Patriot Mobile, which I think we should hunt them down and flog them.
It was probably Patrick.
Well, that's the way my name's spelled. I don't know why. It's I mean, you don't call me Patrick. Not actually, you could be right. The desperate left is, and here's what the rest of the copy says for those of you just dying to know. The desperate left is creating chaos that we won't be able to reverse if we don't stop it right now. Extreme far-left politicians have become unhinged. Media bias is at an all-time high. Anti-Semitism running rampant. Wait until you hear what Talib said this time. If you are supporting, and by supporting, I mean if you have an account at one of those other cell phone companies that is promoting and funding the liberal and progressive left agenda, you have an alternative. You can become part of the solution, not part of the problem, by going to patriotmobile.com, or as apparently somebody says, patriotmobile.com/mojo50. It's Patriot. patriotmobile.com/mojo50. That is where you will find a cell phone company, and probably the only one in the country, maybe in the world, that is conservative in nature, that supports conservative and libertarian values such as yours, that does not support things like Planned Parenthood, that doesn't support the progress. And as a matter of fact, they, by the way, they're closed on Sundays, just like Chick-fil-A. So don't try to call them on Sunday. They have, it's for their family, for worship time. And if you want to get your Patriot Mobile account, you better do it Monday through Saturday. Kind of like, what do they say? If you're going to drink on the Lord's Day, you better buy it on Saturday.
Yeah, especially if you live in Texas now. Those are relaxed. Those rules are relaxed now. But
yeah, well,
you used to not be able to buy beer on Saturday.
No, which is a shame.
Or alcohol.
Right.
Any.
And remember, do not drink.
I'm sorry, Sundays.
Do not drink and use your cell phone. Go to patriotmobile.com/mojo50 and sign up for an account today. Be part of the solution and not part of the problem. Zippy the Jackhole Monkey says, Real Ron Phillips thinks that Doc Thompson show is on the beach catching rays, but I think he's confused with Steve Irwin. Possibly.
Oh, good. I see what you did there.
Yeah, explain it to me.
Steve Irwin was killed by a stingray.
Yes, he was.
He was actually in the water catching rays.
There's some irony. There's some irony.
Irony for you.
Boy, you know, I said at the time, you know your e-ticket is punched when you're on a boat and a damn stingray flies over the boat, stabs you, and then, boo, they're gone.
Yeah, but that didn't happen to Steve Irwin.
What happened?
He was in the water with them. They were under the water.
Oh, no, that's right. There was a guy, there was another guy that was in a boat. And
you did that story a while back. I remember that.
It's been years ago that happened.
That the freaking stingray flew over the boat, hit this dude with his spike or spear or whatever.
Yeah, that thingy. You know what? They should outlaw those, by the way. Yeah, when was that's been years ago that happened. Years and years ago. Anyway, so don't swim with stingrays. And some more news at the southern border. Illegal immigrants have staged 6 mass escapes at a detention center on the southern border in under 6 weeks. 24 Cuban immigrants escaped after rushing the gates and overwhelming the guards on Sunday. Reuters photographer on the scene captured the mass escape as well. This again on the southern border. Federal police officer standing just watches the migrants run right past him. Woo, right on by. Doesn't do a damn thing. It's a pressure point in the ongoing immigration crisis. Detention center, of course, this one has been the site of ongoing protests and riots from detainees and activists over deportations, alleged mistreatment, and poor living conditions. This needs to be fixed right now, immediately, if not sooner. We should, the deportations, alleged mistreatment, poor living conditions on the southern border. No wonder they're revolting. The revolt yesterday marks the 6th mass escape at the center since April. 100 Cuban immigrants escaped the detention center on May 7th, another 90 on May 4th. This is just inexcusable. By the way, this is the southern border of Mexico. Not our southern border with Mexico, Mexico's southern border. So they're just as big a reprobates as we are when it comes to immigrants. But you won't hear left talking about that, will you? No. The mass escapes, this, by the way, the name of the detention center is the Siglo 21 station in Tapachula, Chiapas. By the way, it is beautiful there this time of year. Just saying. If I'm in a detention center there, I'm just laying back catching the rays. Not those rays. The immigrants reportedly ransacked the building, set some documents on fire before authorities were able to regain control. 15 Cubans reportedly escaped during that riot. Another riot at the detention center on April 2nd captured on video by Mexican media outlets. The video shows a Mexican immigration official using a chair to defend himself against a male detainee who is wielding a chair of his own. It's time to have some real common sense chair reform, by the way. I did want to warn you about that, because when people start using chairs to cause harm to other people, I think we know that we've got to take swift and immediate action. I mean, if you think about it, this goes back decades. I mean, think about, the Maury Povich show where they started attacking people. I mean, chair attacks have been going on for a very long time in this country, and it's about time we sat down and had a real common sense discussion about chair reform. You ever been hit by a chair?
No.
It hurts.
I was just thinking, I might have seen a Jerry Springer episode where a chair flew.
That was it. Jerry Springer, not Maury Povich. I think Maury Povich, it was a fish. Jerry Springer show. Yeah, the chair. I mean, we've got to start talking about chairs and their use in attacks on people. Chairs and machetes and the rest. This is not going to end well unless we can have an adult conversation about controlling that. And then while we're in it, let's talk about climate change and how we can reverse that as well. There's so many things that we really need to sit down and have an open, honest, adult conversation about. It's almost too hard to count all of the things we need to sit down and talk about. So, Did I see the little pitter-patter of Brandon Morse's feet in here? Oh, look who's coming to the show. It's your Daily Mojo.
This is the seditious, rabble-rousing, liberty-loving, home of fun, entertaining, and compelling talk. Mojo 50.
News this hour from townhall.com. I'm Rich Thomason. He's talking trade and tariffs. President Trump says China will be hurt very badly if it doesn't make a trade deal with the U.S. And on Twitter this morning, the president writes, the unexpectedly good first quarter 3.2% GDP was greatly helped by tariffs from China. Some people just don't get it. Nervous about the trade stalemate, Wall Street futures sharply lower this morning. More trouble in the volatile Persian Gulf, where Saudi Arabia says 2 of its oil tankers have been damaged in what it describes as a sabotage attack. The BBC's Martin Patience says it happened near the strategically important Strait of Hormuz. That's a major passageway for global oil shipments.
And I think also it's important to note that the American administration is yet to confirm whether or not any incident took place. The background to all of this is the rising tensions between America and Iran. Iran, for its part, says this is an alarming incident and it's called for an immediate investigation.
The U.S. has warned that Iran or its allies could be targeting maritime traffic in the region. WikiLeaks founder Julian Assange could be extradited to Sweden after he serves a 50-week prison sentence in Britain for bail jumping. Swedish prosecutors who have reopened a rape case against Assange say they will seek his extradition once he has served his time in the UK. Darian Vance goes to court later today. He's a 26-year-old Texas man arrested in connection with the disappearance of his 4-year-old stepdaughter in Houston. Vance told police that he and the girl had been attacked and that she was kidnapped. Police, though, in Houston think otherwise. On Wall Street this morning, stock futures are deep in the red. Right now, Dow futures down about 342 points. S&P futures off 41. NASDAQ futures down 143 points. More on these stories at townhall.com.
It looks like you're losing.
I am.
Are you losing weight?
I am losing. I've lost about 10 pounds.
How are you doing it?
Funny name, but I've done it with Riduzone, RADUzone.com, and the stuff works. It's, you get into all that, the molecule this and the found in that. All I can tell you is it makes you feel full and it keeps your mind off of wanting to overeat.
And also boost your metabolism,
Yes,
so you're
it does.
burning more.
Yeah, it
Try it today. It's going to work for you like it's worked for Brad and countless other people. RidUZone.com. RIDU Zone.com.
You know what makes you feel really good about yourself? Doing something good for somebody else. If you'd like to do that today, go to jdrf.org. Join them in the fight against type 1 diabetes. jdrf.org. It's something good you can do for the world.
jdrf.org. Radio's so good it will knock you out of your seat. Uncommon Sense with Bill and Jen, Monday through Fridays at 11 a.m. Eastern.
MoJo 50.
Got an old car? You can donate it, whether it's running or not, to the United Breast Cancer Foundation and save a life. They'll even come and pick it up for free. The United Breast Cancer Foundation has saved hundreds of women's lives through their free or low-cost breast screen exams. But now they need your help. The United Breast Cancer Foundation wants to save more lives through early detection by offering women free or low-cost breast screening exams. And donating your old car, SUV, or truck, whether it's running or not, helps pay for them. Plus, you get a charitable tax deduction. Help the United Breast Cancer Foundation save lives by donating your old car, SUV, or truck. Call now for free pickup. 800-245-0823. 800-245-0823. 800-245-0823. Call right now. That number again is 800-245-0823.
If we weren't so bad.
To puppy rape.
I like to cuss.
Do I want to keep my penis?
Cat wants some black titties.
We wouldn't be so good. MoJo 50.
The mothership has landed.
All right, now, strange things going on in the on Texas highways, and Ron walked in, and I said, what is it with our highway signs? And then Ron asked me a question, and he's about to reiterate that question as soon as he walks back in to the other room and
we just have to
sits
stall
down
for time.
and says,
Oh, hey, folks, how you doing? Happy
camera.
Monday.
Yeah.
Hey, Brandon.
Hey, how's it going, Ron?
Happy Monday. Who in the
Happy
hell is
Monday
Bobby
to you.
Boucher?
Boucher?
Boucher? Is it? What is it? Is that what it is? Bobby Boucher?
Yes, but thank you for proving my point.
I don't know who that is.
Bobby Boucher, the water boy. Mama Boucher, drive safe, says Mama says, Mama Boucher, baby Boucher.
Oh, snap.
Football
I
is the
remember
devil.
the water boy.
Yeah.
But, okay, so.
But I didn't catch the.
Yeah, exactly. No one else did. I mean, probably 10%
It was the
of the
text
people.
dot signs. My wife even asked me, what in the hell is that?
Yeah. And they have, obviously, somebody who programs the signs around the great state of Texas. As a water boy fan, decided to use the water boy reference. But for the most part, it was people driving by that sign going, what's a Bobby Boucher? And so, first of all, I'm not sure why they felt it necessary to use that. I guess called back pop references, great, whatever. But this is also the same person who, around Christmas time, puts up the message on the boards that say, even Santa Claus wears a seatbelt. No, he does not.
No, he doesn't.
He does not wear a seatbelt, and I'm not sure why in the hell you thought that was necessary to put on the signage, because Santa does not have to. He will never fall out of the sleigh.
That is 100%
It's
true.
magic. Quite frankly, he's being pulled by the reindeer.
You sons of bitches with
You
your lies.
idiots.
I am so tired.
The seatbelt. The sleigh does not even have seatbelts installed in it.
Yeah.
So you can't.
For one, it's bench seating. Okay.
Stop lying to the children. This is
So there's-
obviously just a tactic to try to. Well, Santa wears a seatbelt. Son, you need to wear a seatbelt.
Yeah. Santa obeys our statist rules.
Yeah. Santa lands on your roof and crawls down your chimney. He breaks and enters thousands of times in a single evening.
You think he cares about your seatbelt laws?
Millions.
You think
He's
he cares
not.
about your seatbelt laws?
Seatbelts, they slow him down if he's trying to get down your chimney.
That's right. That's right.
If you know what I'm saying.
Mm-hmm.
Did you know this was the day in 1981 that Pope John Paul II was shot?
Really?
1981. This is he was riding in I don't think they had the Pope Mobile until after this occurrence. Pope John Paul was shot because he was riding in an open car. You'd think they would have learned from Kennedy, but hey, there you go. And Ann C. Oder O-D-R-E. That was her name. She was leaning against a barricade, waving an American flag. She was on a tour group there. She got shot, too. No one ever hears about that.
Wow.
She died.
Oh.
I mean, she didn't die that day. She died in 1997 because she was 60 years old that
so
day.
she eventually died.
I mean, eventually we all die, right?
Right,
But,
yeah.
So she didn't die exactly as a result of that, but she did eventually die.
That was a very nice twist.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Oh, and somebody wanted to point out there was a message to you.
Oh, God.
This came in the form of an email.
Oh, God, no.
From Erica,
Erica.
somewhere in North Carolina.
Hey, Erica, North Carolina.
This was in regards to a story you did on Headlines. Erica writes, North Carolina actually does have a law that allows drivers to push through protesters in the street.
Oh, really?
I believe it says something along the lines of, if a protester is bumped by a vehicle while protesting in the street and impeding through traffic, the driver cannot be sued.
Wait, so it's true then for North Carolina?
Yes.
Oh, this day just got better.
Yeah.
Wow.
So there
That's
you have it.
amazing.
Yeah. They were if you're in North Carolina,
That's why nobody blocks the highways in North Carolina.
I'm telling you, this is again using common sense. You start making some laws like this around the country, you're not going to have a bunch of a-holes blocking the streets because they realize, oh wait, those people driving the 2,000-pound missile, they can run into me.
Yeah, they're not so tough whenever like roles get reversed and the other person has all the power. You don't see them like Antifa. Do you really think Antifa would show up if they really thought that they could lose? If they really thought that they No.
Of course not.
No. They had thought, like even at the Battle of Berkeley, I think they thought that they were going to come up and like show up in overwhelming numbers and like, the protesters on the right were going to remain peaceful and not do anything.
Yeah,
No. Once that actually started happening, panic ensued, which is why the whole entire, if you don't know, the Battle of Berkeley ended when an Antifa guy decided he was going to throw a smoke bomb or like
sounds like
a smoke canister,
Right. Yeah.
And I guess he wasn't paying attention to the wind, or maybe he didn't know that the wind affects smoke. He'd never seen a campfire before in his life, and he threw it.
Smoke follows beauty.
Thinking that the smoke was going to, cloud the Trump protesters or
Get 'em right in the face.
And all the smoke just ended up blowing toward the Antifa side, forcing them to retreat.
That's the little things. Good job. Speaking of this day, it was in 1973, May 13th, the early years of the women's liberation movement. Tennis stars Bobby Riggs and Margaret Court face off in a $10,000 winner-take-all challenge match. It's the first Battle of the Sexes. Ron, you remember that? Brandon, you're too young.
I've heard of the movie.
You've seen the black and white film strips?
Yeah.
I remember the Battle of the Sexes primetime shows.
You don't remember the tennis match? Bobby Riggs?
I don't remember that, actually.
You know what they say, memory is the first thing to go.
I'm sure.
Uh-huh. So it was the 55-year-old Bobby Riggs, tennis champion from the late 30s and 40s, notoriously skeptical of women's talents on the tennis court, as he should be. He branded the contest a Battle of the Sexes. The match, which was played on Mother's Day and televised internationally, was held on his home turf in the San Vicente Country Club in Ramona, California. Bobby Riggs originally proposed a male-female matchup to Billie Jean King, who he dubbed the leading women's liberator of tennis. Yeah. By the way, that takes us to a current story. In May of 2019, powerlifter Mary Gregory, she broke world records at the powerlifting championship. I mean, this is amazing. This happened just last month. So this is how far women's lib has come. Let's see, it was the, what she break? She says she broke the squat, the bench press, the deadlift, and total records for her weight class and gender at the 100% Raw Powerlifting Federation competition. So congratulations to Mary Gregory for winning the women's weightlifting championships. Oh, wait, excuse me, we have an update. Following the event, a statement released on May 1st, the president of the 100% Raw Powerlifting Federation, Paul Bossy, said the group has stripped Gregory, get it, of her wins because she's actually a guy.
Oh.
It was revealed the female lifter actually a male in the process of becoming a transgender female. But wait, she identifies as a woman. She beat the damn records. Shut up. She won.
You know what? I actually, part of my rant later is going to be about something like this. But it's not really going to be a rant. I'm just going to give you a sneak preview. I want to congratulate men for beating women at everything.
Right?
Everything.
Everything.
And getting awarded recognition during days that are meant for women, even then.
Exactly. Just saying. By the way, our sponsor of this portion of the program, you want to guess who it is? Come on, take a guess. Take a guess. You got a 1 in 4 shot.
I'm going to go with cat coolers.
You're wrong.
Damn.
I mean, you weren't even close.
Really? What is it?
It's the MoJo Wild Rice.
Oh. Why cannot
grilling
that be,
season.
Why can't that be close to cat coolers? You can put your MoJo Wild Rice in the cat cooler.
That's a very good point. If you're going to be grilling out this holiday season, by holiday season I mean summer and Memorial Day and Labor Day, all of that included, it's time to get your grilling super pack, the sampler pack from MoJo Wild Rice. You go to mojowildrice.com. You scroll down just a smidge, and right there you'll find the Grilling Sampler Pack 2019. You've got your salt-free garlic and herb seasoning for meats and vegetables, or even potatoes, dry or oil rubbed. The Northwoods Jerk seasoning for that one Northwoods Jerk. If you identify as Northwoods Jerk, there's seasoning just for you. Awesome flavor on pork, salmon, or chicken. I haven't turned on the grill in about 1.5 years in the backyard. I just nice grill, and you know why? Cooking is women's work.
Is it though?
That's what you told me. You said it's only
no,
women's
I
work.
didn't say
wow,
that.
I can't believe you're denying that now.
I didn't say that.
Brandon Morse says cooking is women's work.
Actually, in my home, I actually do most of the cooking. Believe it or not, I am a fan of cook. I love to cook. It's very
we should get married because I love to eat.
No, one of my favorite things, I gather my ingredients and I start preparing. I drink beer while I'm doing it. I put something on the TV that I can just watch, and man, that's my chill out time.
You put your stories on.
I put my stories on. Yeah, boy.
Do you wear that cute little apron? That little is just a shorty apron.
Yeah, the one that kind of reveals.
We're definitely getting married. It's going to be we are going to have a big time.
Last night I cooked a chicken with sun-dried tomatoes. Oh yeah. A little salt and pepper on that with some.
Stop! You had me at chicken.
With some heavy cream and chicken broth on the mix. Little fresh cut basil.
Stop this! This is going to drive me insane. Let's just.
I'm turning them on.
Let's just move.
We've scoured news platforms and agencies around the globe for today's most profound news headlines. Presenting them now. Here's Brad Staggs.
No. Hey, by the way, I almost fixed that this weekend.
You almost did, but then you stopped short?
No, I had a little issue with moths, as you know.
With moths?
Yeah. Not Mothra.
Mothra! No one ever.
Godzilla!
Mothra!
But, yeah.
Thank you, Bratson.
Mm-hmm. You're welcome.
Yeah, I am the one who's doing headlines, and now I will read for thee. Good Lord, Brad.
What?
You guys can't hear it, but I can.
Hear what?
You know.
I'm sorry, what am I hearing?
The barking frog, the
Are you doing something in there?
Did you let one go, Brad?
And that sounded like Brandon apparently did.
Oh, that's okay. I get it now. Headlines with Ron, Brad, you and me. A whole bunch of cheaters I better not see. Many are weird but factual indeed. Call out the phony and you will succeed.
And whose genius writing was that?
This is... Gosh.
To whom do you attribute
who did
that?
Send this to me? I can't remember.
Wow, you're just going to piss them off even further.
What? I get a lot of packages. I can't remember who sent it in.
That was easy. Hey, I think I think we finally focused in here, Ron. I think we finally focused.
What?
Oh, it's nothing. Nothing. It's just about nothing.
Brandon's like, what in the hell?
I don't know what's happening right now.
It's all right.
That's okay, brother. Neither do I.
I'm nervous. I'm scared a little bit.
The key when you don't know is you go, I know, right? And you just move on.
Study! 1 in 10 Americans prefer a week in jail over moving.
Yeah.
Would you rather go to jail for a week than undergo the stress of moving?
Yes.
Brad Staggs says yes.
Yes.
As long as the move gets done while I'm in jail.
A new study found that 1 in 10 Americans would prefer to spend a week in jail than move. The study, conducted by one poll on behalf of... one poll. On behalf of a Life Storage survey that 2,000 Americans' thoughts on moving found that by the numbers, American movers can expect approximately 2 nights of lost sleep, 4 hours of hard labor, 3 hours of procrastinating, 2 arguments with a roommate or partner, and 2 frustrated cries during their next move. Also, 1 in 5 Americans say moving is more stressful than planning a wedding. And 27% think that there's more pressure placed on them during a move than during a job interview. And more than 1 in 10, 13% go as far as to say it's more stressful than a week in jail.
So I outweigh the statistics on the frustrated cries during a move. With when me and my wife are moving, like we had to move out of our house for the fire and then move back in, move to a rental and all this other stuff. The number of frustrated cries was amazing.
Really?
Oh, yeah. I cried like a baby about 4 times.
I've never really considered... I've only ever gotten stressed during a move one time. It was because I was moving by myself. And it was...
You didn't need anybody to help you?
You didn't have any friends?
Well, so I lived in Waco at the time, and my sister, who was... both my sister and my brother, who were supposed to come help me, they were in Galveston at the time. And the whole, like, the rainy season, like, what was it, 4 years ago, where Galveston, the bridges completely flooded out. So they couldn't get to me. So I was by myself, like, having to move all this stuff.
I bet that couch was heavy.
Well, luckily, my friend Sarah Smith came in from out of nowhere. She's a nomad, like I used to be. And she was just happened to be going through at that point in time. And she was like, yeah, I'll stop in. And she helped me out. And I was like, man, you want to talk about a good friend.
Yeah, that's when it's a good time to have Mary Gregory as a friend, power lifter.
Oh, yeah.
She could have just taken the whole couch, dumped it on her back. Hey, I'll get this down to the truck for you.
Don't worry about it.
Yeah, I'm going to expect a kiss.
Can you tell me I'm pretty? Costco receipt checking protocol fails to nab man stealing 24 bottles of Hennessy.
Damn it.
This is a lesson in confidence, folks. I'm going to read this. Maybe those weird airport self-help books were right. Maybe the key to achieving anything in life is confidence, swagger, acting like you know what you're doing, faking it till you make it, etc. It works fine for wine tasting.
Carrying a clipboard.
That's right. And it seemed to work temporarily for one unnamed man who absconded from a Costco in Menominee. Yeah, that's a weird.
Menominee?
Menominee.
Menominee?
Menominee.
Menominee.
Wisconsin. On Friday with 24 bottles of Hennessy cognac valued at $1,500. According to surveillance footage of the man's journey through the store, which shows him breezing past the registers, he has a moment of interaction with a Costco employee, who then seems to let him exit the store. Yeah, just lets him go. Smooth talker?
How
did he explain the way the bottles were?
It's always funny when you leave. If you've got a basket full of stuff at Costco, I mean, there's no possible way they can see every item because the stuff's buried. And they look at it and go, yep, good.
Oh, I'm pretty sure it's like most of it's an act.
Yes,
like it's a complete act.
Well, they want to make sure you got.
I'm looking over. Okay,
they want to make sure you got everything you paid for. That you didn't get cheated out of something. That you weren't a moron at the checkout stand and didn't watch them go boop to everything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I would have thought that too, like, 24 bottles of Hennessy. No way he would have walked past the
It's easy to put those in your pants if you know what I'm saying.
Hey-oh. Portable urinals installed in downtown Victoria.
Finally.
Not everyone is a fan of the kiosk.
Victoria's not a very big fan of it either.
They will come as a relief, get it, to some, leaving bars late at night, but temporary urinals installed in downtown Victoria aren't being welcomed by everyone. The 6, quote, kiosk urinals are a part of the City of Victoria's late-night program to help ensure that, quote, everyone has a safe and enjoyable night out. They are installed on weekend nights and aim to encourage people to not use public spaces as impromptu bathrooms. This program is operated in cooperation with Our Place and is sponsored by downtown bar and restaurant owners. The city's website reads, and has been in place for several years. So they had a problem with people just peeing. I'm going to break that damn thing. I will break it.
I don't know what you mean.
I will break it.
Break what?
The little machine you got. I will break it.
Ron, if you're doing something to Brandon, stop it. He's getting mad.
Okay. I'm gonna find it.
I don't know.
I'm gonna find this little. So there's a little noisemaker going off in here, and I'll start talking, and Brad will activate it somehow.
I don't. Okay.
With
Do you
the
hear
little cell
something,
phone in
Ron?
his
Do you
hand.
hear
I
something?
cannot hear what it.
I can't either. So that
And
means
so
that
I don't have my headphones on.
most people
I'm gonna
can
go
hear
ahead
it.
and find it during the break, and then I'm gonna break it. I'm literally going to take. I'm gonna break it.
All right.
New Hampshire woman breaks record with calls to police. Police announced that New Hampshire's woman, Sally Christensen, 74, has now surpassed the record for most call-ins to the tiny town of Bennington. Police say that Christensen has now called the local station 25 times in the span of 2 months. The record-breaking call said a police spokeswoman was that the record-breaking call was a report that she heard gunshots while in her living room. The police spokesman said calls from Christensen have become a routine part of the officer's days, but that visits to Christensen's are now somewhat looked forward to, as a lonely 74-year-old woman always has fresh-baked goods ready for the officers.
See?
She makes amazing peanut butter cookies, said the spokesman, and sometimes officers will offer to volunteer to visit Mrs. Christensen themselves. It's actually a very sweet story.
It is very nice.
Man claims his guard dog is bribed with deer bones by a garbage-loving bear. I like that. One Canadian man claims it's always Canada.
Right.
It's the Florida of the North. One Canadian man claims that his guard dog is in cahoots with the local black bear, with the bear allegedly giving the dog deer bones to munch on in exchange for full access to the household trash. Though the dog owner has not yet witnessed the strange exchange, he has shared his suspicions on Twitter in a series of posts that have gone massively viral online. On May 8th, Jess Jordan took to Twitter to discuss his dog, Brickleberry, and his troubling new habit of accepting late-night snacks from a hungry wild animal. My idiot furry son has one job at night: bark at things and make them go away. Easy, right? The Northern Ontario man wrote. However, a bear has learned that my furry son can be bought. This is the third time he's been gifted deer bones in exchange for being allowed access to my trash, and he keeps doing it. Dude, bears are smart, bro.
Bears are very smart, but you won't find grizzlies engaged in this sort of nefarious conduct. I mean, they're not...
grizzlies have, like a sense of honor and right and wrong.
Black bears, though, they're just the...
they're assholes.
Yeah.
Coffee break. So those are your 5 headlines. Let me go ahead and go back over them just one more time. 1 in 10 Americans prefer a week in jail over moving. Costco. Oh, this is awesome. 24 bottles of Hennessy stolen by a guy who just breezed past security in Costco. Kiosks are popping up around the city of Victoria.
I see what you did there.
New Hampshire woman breaks record for most call-ins to police station. And apparently a black bear has learned to bribe a dog so that he can get access to trash. Which one is the false headline? But first, Brad Staggs and his fart machine.
Okay, first of all, I'm not sure what you're talking about. But secondly,
Zach, you're trying to get one over.
I would look over the guy across the glass for you and me, but hey, that's just me. APR coffee. Oh, it is amazing. And again, this morning I am drinking the mixture of Ron and Brandon. Let me rephrase that. I am drinking the Ron Sexual Chocolate and the Brandon Morse Code Monkey Bread Blend, which will trip you up because DM has it listed as 2 different titles on his website. But don't let me.
Maybe DM secretly has 2 different kinds of flavors, and he just takes bread out of one.
Maybe that could be it. But whatever. Here's the point: don't be afraid to mix these. Do not be afraid to mix your flavors. Do the right thing. Go to AmericanPrideRoasters.com and get you some today. It's AmericanPrideRoasters.com, the best coffee in the entire universe.
All right.
So, Ron, what are you thinking?
Well, I can tell you, first of all, the false story is that Ron knows anything about a fart machine. The second false story is spending a week in jail.
Spending a week in jail?
I'm going with the old lady. I'm going with the old, because it's too sweet a story. So, the nice things don't happen in this world.
Okay.
Not like that.
I've got one who says, Larky X from Farkin says the dog bear story is fake.
What's he know? Come on.
How to troll.
And smacking duck, by the way, bear and dog is my guess for the fib. Which, what does he know? He, she, whatever smacking, whatever gender duck he.
Yeah, I don't want to assume.
She assumes they are.
I don't want to assume their gender. Zer's gender. Yeah. Hit it, Brad!
All right, drum roll. What is it? What is it? What is it?
Good news, Brad. You win.
I won! I knew it because there's nothing good in this world anymore. There are no nice stories. There aren't any sweet little women. There aren't any good stories like that.
There is nothing good
There
in
is
this world
nothing good in the world
Brad's
anymore.
cynicism caused him to win this time.
Finally won. That's what it takes. For that, I'm taking the rest of the morning off. There's nothing else going on here anyway, so it's so. That means, however, that a bear did bribe a dog.
Yeah, that's amazing.
Yes. And then they didn't, the second half of that story where the bear ate the dog.
Yeah, he actually.
Yeah.
It's not deer bones, it's bones from the last dog he ate.
Because the bear apparently likes deer bone stuffed dog. Yeah.
A free exchange of ideas. MoJo 50.
Fast Track Student Loans can get your student loans out of default, stop any wage garnishments, stop collection calls, and stop seizure of your tax refund. Give yourself a break. Stop the stress and get your student loan payments down to as little as $25 a month based on what you can afford to pay. 800-709-4395. 800-709-4395. 800-709-4395. 800-709-4395.
Dr. Ken Brown here, host of Gut Check Project with my co-host Eric Rieger. Eric, we've been seeing MoJo guys over there and over here at Spoonie talk about Atrantil for bloating. I've seen in my practice that Atrantil is a whole lot more than just a bloating product.
Yes, it does a whole lot more than just fix bloating because of the polyphenols that you find in Atrantil.
You're exactly right. The polyphenols are those molecules that we find in the Mediterranean diet. It makes vegetables and fruits very colorful. What are some of the things that these polyphenols do, Eric?
These polyphenols can actually stop inflammation. They can help you have more energy. They can help you with anti-aging. And polyphenols are great for athletes.
It sounds like it's going to help a whole lot more people than just bloating. Tell me how everybody should be taking Atrantil.
If you want to dose Atrantil, it's 2 capsules 3 times a day, basically with your meals. But if you aren't bloated and you just want that polyphenol intake every day, 2 to 3 capsules a day will work for you.
Go to lovemytummy.com/mojo.
I got my
MoJo 50.
I got my mojo working out.
Live free.
I got my mojo working. I got my mojo working out. But it just won't work on you. I got my mojo working. But I just don't know what to do, y'all.
The Daily Mojo.
All right, by the way, I don't know. You think this was a suspicious package Friday gift? I swear I remember Raider dropping off this cat sound effects machine. Wasn't it Raider?
He did. He dropped it off for Matt.
That's what I thought.
Yeah.
You know, it's that thing. But here's I want to play Cat Fight for you. This is the cat on this little bitty noisemaker. That's
weird.
That doesn't sound like a cat fight. It sounds like some dude.
It really does sound like just some guy going.
Here, watch this. I'll sell 1 million of these. We're just going to record me going.
Sounds like.
And he did.
Yeah, Handicap Jeff is going to beat your ass.
It sounds.
Why did he record this?
No, it's because you sounded like him just now.
Oh, did I?
Sounds like Sylvester Stallone, what you just did there.
I like that. Adrian! Well, we're waiting technically for Dan Andros to call in. While we're doing that, this is one way of when this is the 400-meter hurdles, a victory in Arkansas. This was so popular, as a matter of fact, it made it all the way to the BBC. And this guy, it's a visual thing, but we'll describe it for you. Ron, if you want to pull that thing up there on the big screen television, this guy's name is Infinite Tucker. Watch how he wins the 400-meter. He is going, whoa, and look at him dive. Did you see that? That is stunning. Watch this. The guy literally takes a Superman dive over the finish line.
Is that legal?
I would assume. Why wouldn't it be? What's the difference between that and taking a really long step? I mean, you don't have to win.
But I mean, like the difference is that he's
diving.
projecting himself.
Right, but I mean, if you think about it, when you're running, it's just a series of controlled falls. When you walk,
but you are losing control of a fall to give yourself an advantage. Is that?
Well,
see,
he won, and until they come out and say that Infinite Tucker, which by the way wins for name of the day, the decade,
Infinite Tucker,
possibly the name of the century. Hello?
I'm not gonna lie. That's
my name is.
When you think about it, it's kind of an unfortunate name.
No, it's not. That is a cool name, Infinite Tucker.
I'm tucking infinitely.
Infinite Tucker.
I'm an Infinite Tucker.
Hi, how you doing? My name's Infinite Tucker.
Tucker.
I don't know. That's to me, that's a pretty cool name.
If I was just some dude who came over, hi, my name is Infinite Tucker, be like, you kidding me? Right?
Infinite? Are you kidding me? Still no.
Tucker, I hardly know her.
Hold on, you can't throw that one out there without that. Remember that on the back wall now of the MoJo 50 Freedom Dojo, you will find not only the our personal protection and location protection system brought to you by traguns.com, the AR that is mounted on the back wall, but you will also find the Sword of Iniquity mounted to the back wall of our studio here, and immediately below that you will find a square shelf. Brandon, would you describe to the audience what is sitting on the square shelf at the moment, below the Sword of Iniquity?
The Sword of Iniquity?
Yes.
I like that. It's going to give you like a +5 to poverty. I would describe it, Brad, as a glowing moon.
There you go. Glowing moon.
Of radiancy.
See, right now it is sitting in the seat of honor for Suspicious Package Friday.
Oh, is that what that is? The seat of honor for Suspicious Package Friday? I like that.
Strangely enough, it is.
I like that.
That will be each week as the suspicious packages flow in, and they are opened on Fridays, hence the name, Suspicious Package Friday.
Oh, and one thing I did notice that we were tweeting about it the other day, the hashtag is very long. We should shorten it to SPF.
Sun protection factor?
Yeah. Yeah, SPF.
15 or 30? I wouldn't go out without a 60.
Well, you'll be cancer free, but you're gonna live.
Which would you rather get, a suspicious package or cancerous mole? See, they both kind of fall in the same category. But if your suspicious package is deemed worthy of the seat of honor at the back of the studio, it will live there for the entire following week with infrequent and not necessarily guaranteed mention on the programs of MoJo 50. So think about that when you're sending your suspicious package in.
Where can they send their suspicious? It's Monday. Screw you. Do what I want. Suspicious package.
That's a great question, and Ron has the answer to that because he's busy over there. I enjoy watching him come out from behind the wall.
Oh yeah.
I know. It's remember, there's people out there digging ditches for a living.
Sorry.
And the address. The address is
6125.
Wow, you guys are worse than me.
Airport Freeway, Suite 201A, Haltom City, Texas 76117.
Thank you, Ron.
You're welcome.
That's where you can send your package. Please do so.
Wouldn't you like to see your package sitting on our shelf?
Oh, you totally would. I want to display your package. Proudly.
Right here. It'll be right behind the Brandon Morse's head. Your package right there behind his head for an entire week. How can you pass up that invitation?
Shout out to Mojo Jedi. He said, Brandon, I suggested SPF back when you started the segment. OMG. Then shout out to you, buddy. Well done. Well done. Once again, the Code Monkeys are the greatest creators of names and of segments, if you will.
Except for that one guy.
No, even that one guy. Even his worst suggestion is one of the better ones I've seen. You know, it's good.
JR15 said Infinite Tucker changed his name after college when he was indiscriminate effort. And a dentist said that. Jill Hollis in Seattle, the unwritten rule after the revelation of the fake news story in the Find the False game as delivered by the Brandon Morse on Doc Thompson show via MoJo Radio, that someone mentions that one or more of the suggested falsies were true.
Say again?
I don't know. That was a
lot of college words there.
So many words.
So many words.
B from the SAV, Infinite Tucker, at least he wasn't born into the Johnson family. Hey-oh. I see what you did there as well. Well, apparently our phone system is strange.
Is it on the fritz?
I don't know.
No, I just called it. It works fine.
We're like waiting around for the date to call. He's going to call? Pick up the phone. Oh, it's a dial tone. He's got to call me. He can't possibly not be calling me. Is that the phone? Is it? No, it was a prank call.
Look, if he doesn't call, just remember that you are worth it. And that
I'm pretty. Tell me
you are a pretty girl.
Hug me.
Who deserves the best.
See, we were supposed to know when someone was calling because there's a brand new monitor in the studio. All kinds of changes took place in the studio over the weekend. Apparently, the construction crew was hard at it. There's a new monitor in the corner, big blue monitor that is hooked up to the phone system. We were supposed to be able to see, but we can't see it.
Yeah, I was wondering because today we're not watching Cheddar.
Just says no. That's because that TV doesn't work.
Oh,
seems to all be kind of falling apart right now. But
it's a controlled falling apart.
That TV's been on the blitz for a while.
Has it?
Has it?
Yeah. Unless you leave it on, it takes it a while to bring the video back.
It's like, do you remember TVs that you had to turn on and it took like 20 seconds for them to like heat up, and the screen came on slowly. Those old CRT TVs, those. Well, we have one of those in the studio.
I actually meant to stop by and pick up another one this weekend and
throw this one away. That's all right. Yeah. It's okay. I know you're a busy, important man.
Kim, dude, I cannot speak English today. Kim Gummy Jillhole said that SPF is a given. Suspicious Package Friday is too wordy. No. Suspicious Package Friday is an amazing sentence. Okay? I just want to SPF it for the hashtag, but I want to pronounce Suspicious Package Friday. Because who doesn't like saying Suspicious Package Friday?
That one guy.
Well, he's an ass.
Magic mushrooms. They've and it was funny because last week Dr. Ken walks in here from lovemytummy.com and he turns around and goes, hey, did you see where Denver's almost legalized magic mushrooms? Yeah. They're likely to decriminalize those in Denver. Apparently, some pretty overwhelming voter support. They're going to be the first city in the United States to ostensibly decriminalize psilocybin. By the way, in what there's a Cars song that references psilocybin and the pony.
Oh, I love that one. It's
you don't
there's
know.
A pony and some psilocybin.
I guarantee you one of the jackholes knows it. It's the active ingredient in the psychoactive magic mushrooms. The unofficial voting results posted just last week showed a reversal of fortune. It's probably going to pass, and I would never, and I think that my colleagues here would never encourage the jackholes to send anything of that sort to the Daily Mojo. I would never suggest that they do anything illegal and send those mushrooms once they are decriminalized in Denver, because that would be the wrong thing to do.
I think that mushrooms.
Do not send them to the studio.
Yeah, please don't.
Yeah, don't do that. Do not. Whatever you do, don't do that.
Well, it's not their business what I put in my mouth anyway. Wouldn't you agree, Bradley?
I certainly would agree. I would absolutely agree. When you're driving down, do you know how the traffic system works when you're using like Google Maps and whatever?
Like the GPS system?
Yeah, well, when it says that like there's red up ahead or there's yellow or orange up ahead, do you know how that works? It's like, how the hell does my phone know on Google Maps that there's a slowdown in this area?
I just imagined that it was well with Waze. I mean, it's reported by the drivers, which is why Waze is usually more up to date
than
I would say than any other app.
Like more up to date than Google Maps.
Yeah,
Google owns Waze.
Really?
Yes.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Well, then why don't they just have Waze be its primary thingy?
Well, some people like Waze and some people like Google Maps, but they are all based on, or both of those anyway, are based on Android phones. So Android phones, if somebody's got in their car and they've got location services turned on, the location services reports back to Google, and it lets like 5 cars in a row say, "Man, I'm slowing down."
Right.
That's how it tells you there's red ahead because there's like 5 cars up ahead that are going like 20 miles an hour.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
So that's how it knows.
That's scary.
It is scary.
That it knows how fast I'm. Like,
yeah.
Wow.
With your location, that's how the little blippy thing on the. That's how it knows where you're moving.
Because I like the idea of being able to report like cars on the side of the road, or if there's a police up ahead, or like red light cameras and stuff. And I like that idea. But when I apply my brakes,
right,
that's a little weird to me.
See,
now
they know exactly what you're doing.
I like the idea of crowdsourced traffic reporting, but not
that is crowdsourced traffic reporting. When you have
involuntarily though.
No, it's voluntary. You can turn your GPS off.
I love that they put little comments in. So I'll go in there this weekend. We saw there was a wreck in front of us, and I was using Waze, and I went and looked at the comment. One of the comments was, "What lane is it in?" And the response was, "Your mom's." And then he said, "Psych, it's the left lane." I mean, but what's cool about it is people can comment on them, and a lot of people will post those wrecks long before they get to them, and they don't realize that posting the wreck where they sit shows another wreck on the same highway. So you get 3 or 4 wrecks that show up there when there's really only one.
Right.
It's a cool little platform. Don't get me wrong. I like Waze.
You have to pay attention to it.
Reading the comments section is always a bad idea, with the exception of Reddit.
I
would love to read the comments section on a freaking traffic app.
It's always fun.
Thank you. I've got some things to say.
Holy crap.
I was going to push this off until the top of the hour, but since Dan didn't call us.
I have texted Dan. We're awaiting.
Oh, well.
I have
Too
some
late
things
now.
to say.
So Game of Thrones last night was...
stressful?
In a word, depressing.
Yes.
Oh, not just depressing because of the story.
Yeah.
Depressing because the writing just... I don't know what happened. I guess they were just like, yeah, we don't feel like doing this anymore.
Do you ever watch the little after the show
Yes, I do.
thing? Yeah. And they explained what my concern was, and that was, why were we on the street level
with Arya?
Yeah, with Arya and everything else.
Right.
And
she was the POV.
It was a different point of view, yes.
Yeah.
And don't get me wrong, being down there to watch, as he called it, the business end of the dragon.
Yeah.
That was a tough show last night.
You know what? That, to me, there were 2 moments in the show that and they all revolved around the Hound and Arya. The Hound and Arya were the only 2 things during that show that I actually liked.
Well, and Jon Snow, the look on his face
when he realized
Grey Worm threw that spear.
He realized,
oh,
this
crap.
is nuts.
Oh,
he realized she's crazy, and this is nuts.
Varys was right the entire time.
Yep.
All right, so let me just. I like the fact that they're. Well, first, let me say this. I feel like they rushed the Mad Queen thing that we've had coming for a while. Like, and when I say we've had it coming for a while, like they hinted at it, and then suddenly it was just there. It wasn't like a slow transition. It was Missandei died, the dragon died, and then Jon Snow broke up with her, and now she's a mess.
But see, I guess what I didn't realize is that, and maybe it was you that said this, that from a Targaryen standpoint, the whole dating your sister or your aunt
it doesn't mean
isn't
anything
a big
to
deal.
them. Yeah.
But to Jon Snow, he's like, I'm not going to do that.
Yeah, he's a northern man. He's not going to do that.
And you saw that change last night when she went up and kissed him, and he just didn't play along.
Yeah, and that look on her face.
That was the shift.
Which, by the way, Emilia Clarke. Oh no! I thought the shift happened long before that.
Oh,
I thought
I'm sure it did.
Because when she turned around and looked haggard, you know who she looked exactly like?
By the way, spoiler alert! Spoiler alert! Spoiler alert!
Oh,
You
dude,
got
if you're
2 seconds.
All right, yeah.
And okay, now go.
But hang on. Did you see exactly who they look like? They did the makeup exactly the same and everything.
Who?
Her brother.
Yes.
Her brother. She looked exactly like her brother. Right? When he was mad. And now she had gone mad. And you saw that when she was talking to Tyrion.
When
she was turned around and was looking out the window.
And then turned around.
she had the bags under her eyes.
And it's called no makeup.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm going to tell you, dude, when she was sitting on that dragon on the wall and the music was ramping up, I'm thinking to myself, it is about to be on.
Dude, I was sitting there. I was like, look, Danny, listen to me. All you have to do is nothing.
That's right.
That's all you have to do.
The bells are ringing.
Nothing. They've surrendered. You've won. And then she just goes crazy. And I'm like, no, what the hell? What the This is not, no. This doesn't make any sense.
That one dragon caused more trouble and more issue than all three of them combined through the entire
Oh, yeah, no, I mean,
series.
King's Landing is burned to a crisp, but they've been planning that for a while. Remember that dream sequence?
Where's the gas tank on a dragon?
It's obviously in the chest, right under the right wing.
I mean, seriously, what's igniting the fire?
Have you ever seen Rain of Fire?
Who hasn't, right?
I just assume that every dragon follows the Rain of Fire.
Where's their gas tank?
So the gas tank is in their cheeks, actually. And it's a combination of chemicals that comes out and creates fire.
They sneeze.
Yeah, basically.
Yeah, it's a bad thing.
But here's some things that I really had a problem with. For one, Jaime Lannister's entire arc, screw that.
Yep.
Screw that. He spent seasons upon seasons becoming a good person. And then he just, nope, screw that. Screw that. I'm going back to the person who basically abused me, abused the kingdom, because I love... Dude, what the hell, man?
What's wrong with loving your sister like that? What is wrong with having love for your sister like that?
Brad? And then, so that was a huge disappointment to me. A huge I felt so let down, right? And then the whole thing, like Eddard Stark's army. I just watched Eddard Stark's army help rape and pillage King's Landing.
Yep.
Eddard Stark's army. What the hell am I even watching? Why would you do that? I mean, the look on Jon's face, I could understand if Jon had said something like, hey, guys, let's retreat and yada, 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 which he tried to do. And then the North was like, no, we can't do this, because it would have set up a perfect opposition point to Dany and her army, right?
He needed one of these.
Exactly.
He needed a bullhorn.
But he didn't have one. The technology has not caught up with him.
They have dragons, but not bullhorns.
Evidently.
Apparently, yeah. What the hell's that about? Priorities are wrong. That's what I'd say.
Exactly.
That's what I'd say. But yeah, so that makes absolutely no sense from a standpoint. The North is supposed to be the Winterfell specifically is supposed to be the place like where honor and righteousness and stuff exists. And then I turn around and they're like, oh well, Grey Worm threw a spear, so I guess let's go rape a girl. Like, what the hell, man?
I found.
Was that the Unsullied Unsullied soldiers that Jon ended up stabbing?
No, that was a Northman.
Yeah,
that was a Northman.
That was a Northman.
I learned that it's amazing how you can hide with nothing but a hoodie.
Yeah,
the Hound and Jaime, both
just going around in a hoodie.
They just put the
and Arya. She didn't give a crap. She's just walking on through.
Yeah, well, no one knows who she is.
Yeah.
Well, when she's standing with a guy who's 7.5 feet tall, it's fairly obvious. Okay, there's the Hound. And by the way, why didn't Dany use the dragons like that last week?
That's my question as well. Suddenly, like the scorpions don't matter. They did last week.
Well,
but not this time.
And the scorpions are the
big giant crossbow, the ballista.
Or as I refer to them, the big thing
This particular show had some of the best cinematic visual graphics that I've seen. Especially when the Hound was fighting his brother on the staircase.
So when they were blowing that whole thing up, they had the destroyed city built underneath. They destroyed it first. They built it destroyed, then they built facades over it that looked like it was new. And so it was all up underneath the new structure.
So overall, to me,
the Hound.
Clegane Bowl. Thank you guys so much. At least D&D to the writers. Thank you so much for actually doing Clegane Bowl justice. The Hound went out like a hero, which he deserved. He defeated his brother, which he deserved. At least, in their quest to subvert expectations, they gave us exactly what we wanted there. But I'm upset overall.
Where did I miss the fact that the Mountain was one of the undead?
After he died, because of
when did he die?
He technically died during the what was the fight with the Dornish guy?
The Viper?
The Viper, yeah.
He died in that fight?
No, he technically more or less did, but was kept alive via the chemicals that Qyburn was experimenting on with, and he became a zombie.
He became a zombie, and
Yeah.
Brad didn't catch that before.
No, I didn't catch it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Qyburn turned him into a zombie.
I missed that whole
But
thing. Okay.
Qyburn was obviously like killed brutally by the Mountain because the hatred for his brother outweighed his ability to obey.
And then you had the one scene where he had his hands around the Hound's head, and
he was about to do the Viper.
He's gonna go the same way.
Yeah, and then but you know what? The Hound is just a better fighter, and just well done. Somebody sent out a tweet. I want to read this real fast because it kind of sums up my entire problem with Dany and her character. Daenerys, for 7 seasons, has never harmed anyone innocent, stopped cultures of rape and violence against women. Her priority was always the people. She even herself said, "I will not rule over a kingdom of ashes." All right. Daenerys in season 8 hears bells of surrender, and for some absurd reason starts killing everyone. It's like, if you're trying to subvert expectations, I understand, which is what D&D have been trying to do. But
which is what? Who?
D&D, the producers, Benioff and DB Wise. But there's a point where you have to go, okay, we have been teasing this and that for a long time. We've been talking about prophecies. We've been setting up all sorts of face-offs. For instance, the Night King and Jon Snow. They should have had a fight. The fact that he was killed by a clutch move from Arya, in retrospect, at the moment, it was really cool. But now it's like, it's kind of a letdown. I'm a little disappointed. And now they have Cersei Lannister and Jaime Lannister not fulfilling the Valonqar prophecy at all, where she's supposed to die at the hands of the golden-handed brother.
You don't watch The Walking Dead, do you?
I don't care about The Walking Dead.
Okay, but here's
Not
my
anymore,
point:
at least.
is the fact that who's on the phone? Oh, Dan. Oh, well, we'll have to top the hour because we've only got about 4 minutes left. The Walking Dead did the same thing. They varied from the comics.
Yeah.
Excuse me, the graphic novels. Well, in this case, the books. So yeah, I mean, I don't expect them to even on Game of Thrones end the same way that the books would. I mean, that would be why bother.
Yeah.
I mean, if you're going to see they got to have a little something that keeps your interest, I would think.
Mm-hmm.
But it's obvious to me that Jon Snow's going to kill Dany.
Oh, at this point in time, it's either going to be him or Arya. One thing I will say
It's not going to be Arya. She's already had her moment in the sun.
Well, yeah, but
it's
I don't know. It's HBO, and we're right in the middle of the power of women societal thing going on.
And she ran off, and she galloped off on a unicorn.
But you know what's funny is someone tweeted me not long after that happened. And he made a note. He's like, he quoted the Bible about the pale horse.
Right. Yes. I saw
that. And the writer, whose name was Death. And I was like, oh.
I saw that, though.
Oh, yeah.
The first thing I saw, I swore that as soon as they cut to the white thing, the horse, I know it was a horse now. I swear I thought it was a unicorn. It looked like a unicorn the way it was standing. I thought they are not. Oh, okay, it's just a horse. Because if she had gotten on a unicorn to ride out of town, I would have been irritated.
Look, when you are following Arya Stark through the city last night,
yes,
and those things are explosion. I mean, literally, I thought she was goner 3 times.
Oh yeah, I did too, and I think they wanted you to think that as well because and we were expecting it to happen because that would have been the perfect catalyst for Jon to be like, all right, I'm killing Dany now.
Uh-huh. Yep.
Yeah.
But when they kept switching back and forth between her and the Hound, and I'm like, okay, well, this is setting up for her to die too.
Yeah.
Well, we got one episode left. 90 minutes of Game of Thrones is all
and
there
if you
is.
actually looked at the
trailer
preview for the next one, you actually saw Dany coming out while there was a fight happening below her.
Oh, I didn't realize that it was a fight. I thought it was just all the Unsullied standing there.
No. There was like it was like there was a ring form, but there was a lot of fighting happening. And I'm wondering if at this point in time you have 2 of Dany's forces fighting each other at that point, and she's coming out to try to basically get them to stop or kill whoever's opposing
Arya
her at this
swings
point.
in on a branch and thump,
Yeah, she swings in from the
dragon
dark.
glass into her eye, or just gives her a bad infection.
By the way, so speaking of coming in from the dark, when Varys was unceremoniously killed, that the Drogon's appearance from
When
the
he
dark,
came in from the dark?
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
Oh, I was even like, oh god.
Did you see what it took them months to shoot that? The actor who plays Varys had to show up every few weeks because they kept missing a shot or something. So that one shot on the beach took them several months.
Really?
To film.
Wow.
And he had to keep showing up and saying nothing because he didn't say anything. He was just standing there. But so that's why that's an expensive show.
Yep.
And well, of course, when the series finale airs, we will have our take on it the following day. That would be next Monday at MoJo 50. Gut bacteria, in the meantime, you know what? They didn't talk much about gut bacteria on Game of Thrones.
No, they don't. And
They
you know
really-
what? They should, because
They really
if there's
should.
one thing more dangerous than a dragon,
right?
It's bad gut bacteria.
Yes. Well, to us, gut bacteria is a dragon. It is our modern day dragon.
It is. It is, Brad.
There is another news story about gut bacteria. The prevalence of gut bacteria in you can be a genetic, basically a genetic signpost for nutritionists to decide what you should and shouldn't eat. They can actually look at your gut bacteria now and go, hey, you should stay away from whatever. You should stay away from legumes. Or whatever it is, because you don't have the system that can digest them. Every week we learn something new about gut bacteria. It's important.
I wouldn't be surprised if Game of Thrones revealed that Daenerys' madness came from gut bacteria.
Thank you. I mean, why else would she act that crazily?
Exactly.
If you go to loveofmytummy.com/mojo, you'll learn more about Atrantil, which is, of course, Dothraki. That's Atrantil is a Dothraki word, which means
that's true.
calm your gut.
That is actually correct, yeah.
It's I don't know why Dr. Ken felt the need to just totally rip off the Dothraki, but he did. Go to lovemytummy.com, find out about bloating and abdominal discomfort and the fact that they are not normal, even if you have a dragon somewhere in your gut. Lovemytummy.com. Get yours today. Go to lovemytummy.com/mojo and find out more about gut health and how Atrantil can help you. All right, coming up in just a second, we got Dan. Dan is off the subway. Excellent. Dan Andros from Faith Wire joins us next to the Daily Mojo.
This is the seditious, rabble-rousing, liberty-loving, home of fun, entertaining, and compelling talk. MoJo 50.
Breaking news this hour from townhall.com. I'm Rich Thomason. The other shoe has dropped in the trade standoff with China. Beijing announcing it's raising tariffs to 25% on $60 billion in American goods. In retaliation for the U.S. hiking tariffs to 25% on $200 billion worth of Chinese imports. China's tariff on American goods scheduled to take effect on June 1st. President Trump warns that China will be hurt very badly if it doesn't agree to a trade deal with the U.S.
With new tariffs on $200 billion of Chinese imports taking effect, the president says China is at most economic risk. He tweets that companies will be forced to leave China for other countries because it's too expensive to buy there. The president also claims that American consumers won't be hurt by the tariffs on Chinese goods, but White House economic advisor Larry Kudlow admits both U.S. consumers and businesses will pay. Greg Clugston, Washington.
And Wall Street appears headed for heavy losses when the opening bell sounds in about a half hour. Right now, stock futures down 2% or more. Saudi Arabia says two of its oil tankers suffered significant damage in a sabotage attack on the vessels in the Persian Gulf near the Strait of Hormuz. One of the vessels was to be loaded with crude bound for the U.S. Swedish prosecutors revisiting the rape case against WikiLeaks founder Julian Assange.
The development was announced at a news conference in Stockholm by Sweden's Deputy Director of Public Prosecutions, Eva-Marie Persson. Ms. Persson said she was reopening the case, an allegation of rape by Julian Assange in 2010, because there was still probable cause to suspect him.
That's BBC correspondent Stuart Hughes reporting. Well, looks like it's going to be a painful day on Wall Street. Right now, futures deep in the red. Dow futures down 508 points for a loss of right around 2%. S&P futures off 57. NASDAQ futures down 198 points. More on these stories at townhall.com.
Now you can fly anywhere in the world and pay discount prices on your airline tickets. Book a flight today to London, Paris, Madrid, or anywhere else you want to go. And pay a lot less guaranteed. Call the International Travel Department right now at Low Cost Airlines.
800-452-1075. 800-452-1075. That's 800-452-1075.
Hi, it's Doc Thompson for Matthew 25 Ministries. Matthew 25 Ministries is one of the few charities I'll actually endorse because I know them. I've worked with them, and I know almost all of the money that you donate goes to help people. Go to m25m.org. m25m.org.
Ladies, some of you sickos willingly accept that with the big doe eyes that you don't even need from a Snapchat filter and just look up at R. Kelly and say, give me your best.
Lorenzo Vizzo. United 7. MoJo 50.
Do you use the expensive blue or yellow pills to charge your sex life? Are you thinking about it? What if we can promise you the same results for less than $3 a pill? If you're paying $20 a pill for the other pills, you're getting taken to the cleaners. Our pills deliver the exact same results for less than $3. You'll save more than $16 a pill for the same results. And right now, radio callers will get 44 blue or yellow pills for $120 with free discreet shipping. You can save more than $700 off pharmacy prices. Charge your sex life now and save a ton of money. Call now and get your 44 pills and save over $700 and qualify for free shipping. Stop overpaying and call right now.
800-218-6473. 800-218-6473.
One more time.
800-218-6473. That's 800-218-6473.
This is the MoJo 50 Institute for the Advanced Application of Freedom. Ya bitches.
The mothership has landed.
Yeah, and MoJo 50 is pretty much the only platform where you'll hear an intro like that, going right into an interview like this. Dan Andros from Faithwire. Hi, Dan. How are you? Is everything okay?
Yeah, everything's great. Just my puppy chewed through the 15th leash that we've gotten her in a row. So I think I'm ready to invest in leashes. So she also has no chill. So this has created a scenario. All right, let's just describe the perfect storm of the Andros household really briefly here, so you can set the scene. So dog chews through every leash that we get.
Right.
Chewed through one last night, so she was in her crate sleeping. My 3-year-old now has decided it's a great idea to wake up at 5:30 in the morning, walk downstairs, and let the dog out of her crate.
Nice.
So,
oh no.
Nice.
She's the destroyer of all things. Mm-hmm. The 3-year-old thinks it's hilarious, so that is my life right now.
Wow.
Are you gonna get it like a metal chain?
Yes.
Yeah.
I've finally learned to let. My wife initially was like, "Oh, aren't those like, do they hurt him or whatever?" I'm like, at this point, I don't care.
Don't care. Yeah.
And time. It's the dog's fault if she doesn't like the leash.
Yes.
Time, so.
Thank you.
What kind of dog is it?
Oh, it's a golden retriever.
Oh, I got a golden retriever too.
They will choo.
She just can't sit. She's just like, all right, if I'm out, I'm into everything. I'm into absolutely everything. I want to be with you 100% of the time, which is fun, except when we don't have the time to be with her.
Right.
Other than that, she's great.
Prayer may be an option, Dan. Actually, I thought of you when I read this. In most Western countries, this is a headline over at weforum.org. In most Western countries, only a minority of people pray every day. The U.S. is the exception. May 2nd was National Day of Prayer in the United States, a day Congress set aside in 1952. Wow, you wouldn't find them doing that today, would you?
No.
Yeah, for Americans to turn to God in prayer and meditation at churches and groups and as individuals. Many Americans pray every day, not just on the day of prayer. Out of 102 countries examined for frequency of prayer by the Pew Research Center, the U.S. is unique in that it has both a high level of wealth and a high level of daily prayer among its population, 55% in the study just a couple of years ago. Is this a sign of maybe a light at the end of the tunnel? Is this? This is obviously good news, but how do we decipher this?
Yeah, well, it's interesting to me because I just saw we're writing one up now on Cory Booker over at faithwire.com, and I get at the end of last week, and I missed this until this morning. He was doing an interview on CNN, and
not easy to get those two confused, by the way.
Yes, they're not alike in any way. So he was talking about gun control and threw in the comment that, at this point, thoughts and prayers are BS, and he said it out and just threw out the swear word on CNN there. And he said, and it pains me as a person of faith to say that. And I'm like, well, it's interesting to me that's because he's like the 18th in line that has said that recently. I mean, AOC said it. Hillary Clinton said it at one point, where they're all just going, well, prayer, just get your prayers out of here. So it's very interesting to me that that's the way the left is going currently, that even the ones that identify as Christians are sort of mocking prayer and the usefulness of prayer when it comes to trying to achieve their legislative goals. And yet you see a survey like this, and it's like, okay, that's clearly not the mainstream of this country. Most of the people in this country still pray and still believe in the effectiveness of prayer. But so it is good that people are still doing it, despite the fact that these leftists are out there telling everybody it's a joke to do it.
Yeah.
So that is a good sign, and that people are sticking to their faith. But it also, to me, is a sign that, look what God does when you base the country on Him and His principles. I know again that the left likes to say, well, no, it's separation of church and state. They wanted nothing to do. I mean, anyone who's cracked open any history book, it doesn't take a rocket scientist to look around and think that these people clearly wanted God's intervention and blessing on this endeavor that we're doing, whether they were, super Christian or deists or whatever. They clearly, by and large, valued making sure that they were doing something that had God's blessing. And you see what God has done. I mean, I don't think it's a coincidence that this country has prospered the way it has.
Right.
One of the things that I really enjoyed about the many philosophers and minds that founded this country was the idea that Christianity was the path, not just to peace and stuff like that. It was the path to success. It was one of the founding fathers who was greeting immigrants who had come here from, I believe it was either Africa or Asia. Got off the boat and he said, of all the things that you need to learn while you're here, as part of this culture is the Christian faith. And if you do that, trust me, you will succeed here. And I think that's just, it's telling. It's telling that people succeed when they follow God.
Yeah. Well, yeah, absolutely. And they firmly believe that. I mean, you look at the history of this country, look at schools. Everyone now, school now, it's like you got the Freedom from Religion Foundation, the atheists coming in and, yelling about separation of church and state anytime someone even mentions God or prays or does whatever.
Yeah, they have the hissy fit.
But school in the early days of this country, where the Bible was a core central part of that, learning the Bible. And it wasn't until, shockingly, the progressive era, the late 1800s, early 1900s, where schools sort of became taken out of the home. It was out of the home in communities where it was focused back then, and it was turned into this centralized, kind of behemoth that we see today.
Well, and now you can't even have the 10 Commandments, which strip, with a couple of exceptions in there, obviously, strip the religion, quote unquote, out of it. They're just pretty good rules to live by if you'd like to, get through the course of the day and the course of your life without, A, getting your butt whooped, or B, hurting somebody else.
Right.
I mean, they're just good common sense rules, and for whatever reason, just because they, come from God and religion per se, the progressives they can't get them out of here. Gotta go.
Yeah.
It's telling to me that people are so up in arms, unbelievers are so up in arms about, Christian tenets being put out there. Like, you won't see them complain about, a Muslim prayer or, Buddhism or anything else. Like they kind of seem to have a sympathy for that.
Right.
But when it comes to Christianity or like the 10 Commandments, they freak out. And like to me, that's just that's kind of like an anecdotal evidence that Christianity is true, because why else would it provoke such a reaction?
You know what? I've said
like
that
people,
too.
I mean, like the Ten Commandments, because you think about it, like what are these, atheists really worried about? They don't like Christianity, so they don't want more Christians.
Right.
The Ten Commandments are up. Do you ever see anybody walk by the Ten Commandments and just immediately go, "Oh my gosh, I'm converting to Christianity now"?
Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
that doesn't happen. Like, what are you so afraid of? To me, they're afraid of the truth.
It's funny that you bring that up, because like one thing that you have noticed, and God said this is going to happen, it's that Christianity is more. In fact, I wrote an article about this at redstate.com not too long ago. Christianity has been proven to be the most persecuted religion in the world right now. And it's like, why is that? Why is it the number one? Why is it always under attack? Why is the media turning its back whenever Christians are attacked, but whenever any other religion or any other group whatsoever is attacked, it's almost like a non-entity thing. Like no one cares. And it's because Christianity, and if you ask me, it represents the antithesis to all the bad things that are happening in society that people are, on the left specifically, are trying to push. And to me, like you just said, it reinforces the fact that my faith is very real and that God is very real.
Well, and I think Christians tend to take the turn the other cheek rule a little too extreme. Just like at some point you got to quit turning the other cheek, and that, quite frankly, is one of the things in other religions that they don't. I mean, they don't have the old turn the other cheek thing. It's right in your face, and if if others don't agree with you, then stab them in the eye. It's put it bluntly.
No, 100%. And when Christians are actually, doing Christianity right and not doing it wrong,
right?
You let God do the work, right? Like you don't have to sit out there and yes, you when you're feeling moved to express a point or describe, something or explain something, do it. But we don't have to win it, right? Like God's the one that's going to change their hearts, and when you speak a word of truth that's biblical, like that's going to pierce their hearts, the way God wants it to, because, that's what he says his word will do. It's sharper than double-edged sword. Like it's going to pierce hearts. And so the other, all the other false religions don't have that. They don't have that kind of secret weapon on their side of it actually being true. And so what you see is, God's word will actually have, that effect on people. And if you look at, I guess, Romans 1, when it says, people are without excuse, for believing in God. They look around the world, you look at creation, and it basically screams of his existence. And what do people do? You have one of two reactions. You either, kind of are drawn to it and you turn to God, or you suppress the truth in unrighteousness. And I think that second part is what you see when people are confronted with truth statements and truth claims. They're suppressing the truth, so they have to, a lot of times it's irrational, like that they're, like freaking out about 10 Commandments and all these things, because, they're actively knowing, they're convicted about that, and they may not understand all of this as it's happening inside of them, but like, I think that's what's at play when you see a lot of these kind of overreaches.
Well, and then you've, the old God works in mysterious ways thing. And there's a perfect example of that over on FaithWire. Jesus has given me freedom, and you can experience it too. Justin Bieber shares with 111 million fans.
I love it.
Which, I mean, think about that. When you've got Justin Bieber, kind of poster boy for bad boys, coming out and saying, look, I turn to God when I'm in times of trouble, which is pretty much for Justin, seems like a 24/7 thing. Always calm down. I mean, that's another good sign. That's at least a sign that possibly we're on the right track. Because, man, I tell you what, every day there are stories that make me think we are driving right toward the brick wall.
Yeah.
Can I give you my Justin Bieber theory here real quick?
I would love one, actually.
So for the uninitiated here, at FaithWire, we joke all the time that it's half the time it's Justin Bieber wire, because like I'm obsessed with this guy's faith walk. And if you actually watch it, like, yes, he was like the crazy boy before, but you look at the things he's saying now, after the I'm forgetting the horrible the shooting at the Ariana Grande concert.
Ariana Grande.
Yeah. But if you look at what Justin Bieber said to that crowd, now these are young, impressionable people that were faith maybe isn't the coolest thing on their radar.
Right.
And so this is in the midst of one of these horrible shootings. And what is one of the biggest stumbling blocks for Christians? It's that evil and suffering in the world. Like at that moment in time, it's very difficult to say God is good because they're looking at all the evil in the world. And
Sure.
Justin Bieber gets up on the stage and he's telling these people, hey, in the middle of all this, God is good, guys. God is good. I'm like, oh my gosh, like this guy's, I'm like, that's pretty bold message.
Yeah.
So like after you win the Super Bowl to be like, hey, God is good.
Mhm.
But, which is good too. I'm not, poo-pooing that. But when he gets up there and he's speaking an actual truth, that's a tougher truth, to kind of swallow in the midst of a tough time, So anyway, so I see his trajectory and I'm very intrigued by it. And so here's my theory on Justin Bieber. I think that Justin Bieber is going to be the next Billy Graham of our time. I think in 20 years,
Wow.
Yes.
Woohoo.
It's totally different than the actual, like, not tent revivals, like it's different. But as far as having the power and and sway that he had as far as converting people, I think in 20 years we're going to be like, Justin Bieber was a pop star. Like he was, that is honestly, that's my person. I mean, that's my hope. That's my prayer. But this guy's got 100 something. I mean, look at his following on social media. And if he keeps on this trajectory, which again, I've been obsessed with Bieber Wire, and I'm just, this guy's like solid, like from all indications on like the breadcrumbs he's given me about his faith.
You have all of it. You have all of his CDs too, don't you, Dan?
He does.
He
rocks out. He rocks out.
Truth be told, I could not name one of this guy's songs. I couldn't name one of them. But the influence he has on social media, hundreds of millions of people on his channels that love him, and they're very young. So I really think you're going to see his. I mean, I'm praying that his faith keeps getting bolder and louder, and then he keeps going more in that direction. And I mean, he's singing worship songs out in the street, like it's crazy. Like so I love it. So I think he has, because of his following and because of his status as being, an icon or whatever, and he's popular. I think if he takes that and turns that in the hard left of the faith direction, well, not left, that's bad. Hard turn towards the faith content, I think he can have the same impact that a Billy Graham.
Well, and again, it's proof that God is a comedian playing to an audience who's afraid to laugh. I think a lot of times we as Christians get we're afraid to have the sense of humor, and quite frankly, if we have a sense of humor because God does.
Yeah,
in my humble opinion.
Yeah. Oh yeah, no. I'm pretty sure he's the funniest guy ever. Yeah, but I mean, and not in like that dark way. Like he's
who knows? I don't know what kind of sense of humor. I don't know what kind of sense of humor he's got, but he's got one.
One of my favorite. I believe C.S. Lewis said it, where he was like, you don't know truly what it is to be good until you've had to try very hard not to be bad. And when you fall into the habit of being bad, like Justin Bieber had, that kind of climb back to faith and goodness, it's a long,
it's hard,
difficult
to do.
climb. And the fact that he was able to accomplish it, and now he stands on the top of this mountain. Yeah, he's perfectly situated to become something like a Billy Graham. But I'm loving the fact that I'm seeing people like Justin Bieber, people like Chris Pratt's another one. Chris Pratt is unabashedly Christian, and he takes every opportunity he can on awards show stages and stuff like that to profess his faith. And I'm like, this to me, this is a bold move, bold move.
Yeah, and
in this day and age,
and
especially.
I would say that's a great point, and I think we should, like, and a lot of people, like, will nitpick, right? So, like, oh, well, Chris Pratt, well, he did this and that. He's in this movie and it has nudity or whatever. And it's like, I would strongly caution against doing that because,
me too.
Like you said, it's very bold and brave of these guys. You cannot underestimate someone in Hollywood like that speaking plainly about Christ and the gospel. That takes a lot of courage in that field. I mean, even for someone of Chris Pratt's stature, like he is a lone, he's on an island alone out there when he's speaking those things. So we need to support him. The worst thing we can do is come out and nitpick things he says. We got to cheer him on and cheer people like that on when they're bold and when they're speaking truth. And like our audience on FaithWire, they love it when people are doing this by and large. But I mean, I always see a few people like nitpicking about certain things, and I
Yeah, and I never liked that. That's
just celebrate that. Yeah,
that's getting mad at people for not being perfect. You know, and it's like, well, are you perfect? Should I nitpick every single thing that you
Hold
do
on,
wrong?
Let me answer that.
And hold it against your Christianity?
It's easy for me to be perfect. I understand how the two of you probably have an issue with it. And so, I can give you lessons.
All lightning bolts struck to smite sin to the care of Brad Staggs.
Dan, what else is happening at Faithwire?
Oh, well, look, I'm buried in my, my dog currently terrorizing my house. So, I story that I've mentioned to you. I know another great one here. We've got, Alyssa Milano. So she is calling for a boycott of Georgia over pro-life stuff. So we've been covering all the pro-life stuff there, and with the latest at rally in Philadelphia, that was great. But she also, and I'm going to try to, if I can, stop my dog from terrorizing the house for 5 minutes. I want to write one about her beautiful, unintentional support of abstinence.
I know. That's a
Yes. Yes, I thought that was genius myself.
I was like, maybe she's the best player on our team right now, bro.
Yeah, seriously. I mean, she called for a sex strike if you didn't see it, and she said, look, if they're going to not let us have a choice, we should just stop having sex, because then we wouldn't get pregnant and have to worry about it. And it's like, how about that? You figured it out. And one of the best responses I saw, somebody put under her tweet when she did that, it was getting ratioed like crazy.
Yeah.
And somebody just put a picture of Mike Pence. And, like, hey, look at this. Alyssa Milano has turned into Mike Pence. So those are among...
Well, good luck with the puppy, Dan. I hope that, when you get the metal leash that we will not call the ASPCA and PETA on you. I mean, we although that would be kind of funny to watch him come to your house. I mean, that'd be a good practical joke, wouldn't it? That'd be a good one. And remember, faithwire.com for faith-based stories and stories that actually can make a difference in your life. That's the beauty of it. It's not preaching at you. The thing is, it's
you can feel very alone in this day and age, especially with your faith. Yes. And this is a great website to go to and really remember what's important, that you're not alone, that this is a huge, not just faith, but connected family.
Yep.
So.
Absolutely. So we'll talk again soon, Dan. And he's gone. He just
he had to run for that puppy, man.
Puppy got a hold of him. He's out. And
puppy took the phone.
Gone there. Cat coolers.
Oh yeah.
How do you tie those into puppies chewing through leashes? And God, go.
Look. Your faith needs to be strong, okay? And you need everything else in your life to be as strong as your faith. That's why cat coolers.
That was genius. That was genius.
With their, it's like it's a genius cooler. Not only does it protect the things inside that are important from the outside world.
That's right.
It keeps everything inside fresh.
Yes.
And ready to go.
You can have faith your ice will be there in days.
Exactly.
I like that.
4 days.
You are a true broadcast professional.
Yeah, well, I have my job.
Absolutely
Everyone
amazing.
else has theirs.
And remember, you can get it in a rainbow of colors, too, as long as that rainbow is black, white, yellow, or camo.
Yeah.
And that's a pretty good rainbow right there.
I like that. That's a good-looking rainbow.
That's really all you need right there is your black, your white, your yellow, and your camo.
You know what's funny? I typically don't like yellow, but I like this cat cooler yellow. It's a cool looking cat. Go to catcoolers.com right now. Check out the yellow one. Just trust me.
It's Caterpillar yellow.
Caterpillar yellow.
Caterpillar yellow.
Caterpillar yellow.
Not to be confused with the blue collar blue, which is actually a black one with a blue collar.
Yeah, they put a collar around it.
Yeah, they do. And it's
for legal reasons, I have to say they don't put a collar around it.
Yeah, it's sort of a collar. It looks like a collar. It might be it's not a dog collar. Just go to catcoolers.com. Use promo code Brandon. You'll get 10% off your choice of said coolers, and your ice will be cold for days.
That's right.
So will your drinks and anything else you choose to put in your cat cooler, because once you buy it, you can put anything in it you want to.
That's right.
And I ain't going to judge. Catcoolers.com. Promo code Brandon.
10% off.
10% off.
You're welcome, folks. I just try to provide the best for my audience.
Yeah, you do.
You know. I really like talking to him. I feel like faith today could be a very, very, very central topic for like an entire 3 hours for me, because I'm not perfect. Nobody is.
Whoa. Whoa, you just gonna throw that gem out there?
Mm-hmm.
You're just what time is it? It is Central Time, almost 9:27, and we just now find out you're not perfect.
I'm sorry to report that to everybody that I have.
I knew this day was going to be messed up from the start, and now what in the?
Yeah, I have weaknesses, Brad.
Here's the thing: if the people who give Christianity a bad name are the ones who preach and preach and preach, and then go out and
judge and judge and judge,
and it's 180. Their behaviors are 180 degrees off of things they tell you ought to be doing.
Right, right.
How about we all try to be good human beings and be good to each other? And
that's one of the reasons I actually like Chris Pratt, is because he's so relatable. You know, he goes out and he says all the things. He's a fun guy, you know, and everything that he does is he's so thankful for. He's so appreciative, and it's the most important thing to him. Even though he's a famous actor, you know, he's an A-level actor. You know, he's rich.
You
he has
put
a farm,
him right
all this
there
stuff.
in the a-hole.
That's right, and he's so appreciative to God for everything.
Mm-hmm.
And you know, he's on video teaching his kid to say the Pledge of Allegiance to the American flag and all that stuff, and giving God the praise for living in the country that he does. And it's like, where's this guy? We need more of this guy in Hollywood. And but I could go out and have a beer with him and like make some crude jokes here and there.
It's harder to come out in Hollywood as a Christian than it is to come out being gay.
That is absolutely true. I think.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah,
I mean,
no, he's right.
You're celebrating. You come out as gay, which I don't care personally.
How many Christian parades are there?
Exactly. I don't know. You know, we just might want to think about doing again, be good to your fellow human being. Let's just start with that rule.
Yeah.
Don't be a jerk. Rule number 1, your Daily MoJo.
High capacity, fully automatic, large caliber, freedom. MoJo 50.
If you've noticed that we're being told over and over again about how terrible things are or will be due to President Trump's policies, you aren't being paranoid. But are the pundits, politicians, and demo journalists right to bang the drum of doomsday for America? Nope, not even close. All we need to do is take the 2017 tax cut as a prime example of how badly the doomsdayers got it. As Reason points out, Larry Summers, who was Barack Obama's White House economic advisor, told Congress that the new tax law would kill 10,000 people every year. If that were happening, the demo journalists would be all over it. Yet I can't find a single headline talking about that reality, probably because it ain't happening. There are plenty of other examples of politicians, demo journalists, and leftists selling the American people a doomsday scenario because of tax cuts. The reality, almost the complete opposite of everything those pundits, politicians, and demo journalists have told us. As it turns out, even the Liberal Tax Policy Center had to admit that a full 65% of Americans saw a tax cut this past year, while just 6% saw an increase at all. Let's sprinkle in the fact that 44% of Americans actually don't pay anything in federal taxes, and add in a pinch of the top 20% of wage earners paying 95% of taxes. That recipe has to naturally end with those paying taxes benefiting the most from tax cuts. The general economy isn't doing too shabby as we speak either, whether that's Trump's policies or the ebbs and flows of capitalism at work. In April, the U.S. saw a 3.6% unemployment rate, the lowest since 1969. There were over 236,000 jobs added, and forecasters call for a 4% unemployment rate or lower the rest of the year. Doomsday or boom? I'll let you make the choice. I'm Andrew Coppins, and this has been By the Numbers. You can follow me on all the socials at The Coppins Show.
By the Numbers with Andrew Coppins is powered by TarRiverArms.com. They've revolutionized online firearm sales with high-resolution pictures, 3D imaging, and the best prices. How much will you save? Find out at TarRiverArms.com. That's TarRiverArms.com.
The Daily MoJo.
Wow, we to what do we owe the honor of the Matt Locke coming into the studio and spreading a little love? Hold on, are you on?
I'm not on.
Hold on, Rondolph. Hey, Ron.
Rondolph.
I'm not. I might be on.
Yeah.
In my. Oh, there.
Sorry, guys, I'm running 2 live shows today.
Yeah, I mean, come on. He acts like he's working
I don't want excuses. I want results.
Right. You know, if you could be more like Brandon and be perfect. I mean, not perfect. Anyway, Matlock from the Conservative Cartel heard immediately following the program, immediately following this program on this platform.
So it's Operation AOC has commenced.
Uh-oh.
I told the Jack Holes and Jill Holes after MoJoCon 2019, you remember, Doc and I conceived this crazy theory that we're going to get her on the debate stage. Well, it's time.
Right. Yep.
Hashtag let her voice be heard.
Let her voice be heard.
Now, I've had some questions this morning. I was over on the MoJo 50 MeWe page, Twitter. Here's the deal. If you want to tag AOC, you can. But for the first week, it's let her voice be heard. That's the only hashtag. I want you to tweet it morning, noon, and night. Let's get it trending on Twitter. Because what did Doc always say? These are the hashtags that get picked up by both sides.
I love to jog. Yeah. No, that wasn't.
I love to jog. Well,
you asked. The thing. Yes, the hashtag thing. Yes, that too. So we just tweeted it out. By the way,
let her voice be heard.
I like it. Hashtag let her voice be heard.
Now Brandon's going to want to reduce that to LHVBH. Because he's going to say that's too many words.
Did he turn gay?
No, no. I was saying that Suspicious Package Friday was too much of a too wordy of a hashtag.
I had to turn you off this morning. You were giving away spoilers to Game of Thrones.
Oh, dude.
I know. I haven't watched it yet.
Which is why I had to give you the
yeah. You're giving away classified secrets.
Well, they're not secrets if they've been aired on.
Spoiler alert. That was my fault technically, because I didn't do the spoiler at the beginning. So
you should.
I'll take the heat for that.
Because I heard some little bit about the Mad Queen, and I kind of know the theories. But anyway, hashtag.
Speaking of Mad Queens, AOC.
Yes. Let her voice be heard.
We do. We need her on the stage.
Oh, absolutely.
When is the first debate?
June. Sometime, I'm going to say end of June, so we got about 30 days.
Where in the hell are they going to have this debate that there's going to be that many podiums on
stage? Well, there's going to be, here's the thing, there's prerequisites. I don't know if you saw, they were talking.
Can't wait to hear these.
Biden says, they're all going to be, this field's going to be winnowed out, because you're going to need to get like 2% of a poll, and you're going to have so many donors and a few things. I don't know if you...
Biden said that?
Yeah.
Which, if you run down his checklist, that's what he qualifies
That's what he qualifies for.
Right.
But he's not wrong. I talked about this story last week. 14 of the 22 candidates on the Democratic side are polling under I don't care.
Well,
I don't care gets more percentage than they do.
And Kirsten Gillibrand says that it's not misogyny. What did she attribute her lack of polling to?
A vagina?
Maybe.
Or a penis?
She does have one of the other.
Maybe.
I mean, that's no judgment.
Well, but she's one of the ones. She's one of the candidates that is polling underneath 4%. 4% of the Democratic Party right now does not care who the candidate is. They can't get above I don't care.
Yeah.
But we can get her on the stage. Can you imagine the chinsery and the TV circusry that would come out of AOC being on this? It'd be gold. Because I don't know if you saw it or not. I'm going to talk about this today. She was only kidding about 12 years, the Earth, before it was going to blow up.
Yeah,
it was dry, it's dry humor.
Yeah.
It's dry humor.
Time out.
She didn't mean it.
Damn it.
She did not mean it.
No,
she was only joking, and us conservatives took her literally.
We're so stupid.
We're so dumb.
I bought the underground bunker because of her.
Damn it.
Well, we still have O'Rourke and his 10-year plan. So.
Oh, good.
Good. Somebody came in and picked up the ball.
Until the 8-year plan. Thank you.
Yes.
No, she said, what is it? She said that her low polling, I saw it and then it just it went away. Maybe it was just
Who doesn't like a low? Come on.
Exactly.
This is low-hanging fruit in here, boys.
I don't take the low-hanging fruit.
Well, I tell you what, with the temperature in here, there's nothing low-hanging.
No, it's like the Arctic in here. I can't cut glass with these nipples.
Dude, I'm telling you, man, it is freezing in here.
All right, so I wanted to come in. I didn't mean to bother.
No. This is absolutely fine. We were running out of things to talk about.
Let her voice be heard.
Hashtag let her voice be heard.
Jack Holes.
We need to
Jill
get her
Holes.
on the stage.
It's go time.
Yes, it is.
Trending. Twitter, MeWe, Facebook, anywhere you can put this on social media, do so. Do it 3 to 4 times a day. And all of you jackholes, retweet.
And it has to be. And it has to be of the nature. It's not about the comedy gold, at least not that we're going to let on yet. but it's about we need to hear her voice.
Yes.
I don't care how old she is. We need her voice on the stage because she speaks common sense.
One thing, has she?
Now, don't get carried away.
Has she ever really actually
it's okay to lie.
gone into a debate with somebody?
No.
Because the only time she's been challenged is
yeah.
her response has been like, "Why are you catcalling me?"
Right.
You know,
Dog whistle.
Don't you remember it wasn't really a challenge or a debate, but the Democrat that she says, hey, Republicans, nice, putting the old white guy next to the young female.
who was actually a Democrat.
Was a Democrat.
Was it? Her party. So the thing is, and Doc was brilliant in this point. The left is going, if there's a big push made for this, thank you, that says, she's the rock star of the left. I mean, Dan Crenshaw's come out and said it. A bunch of high-profile voices have come out and said, the reason she is who she is she's very popular.
Absolutely.
So the left they know this, they need her voting bloc. They need her followers to come vote. She's not, the Constitution says 35. She's not 35. But what would it hurt to have her voice on the stage? What would it hurt to have her ideas? All these folks are going to be like, well, she can't really win, so why not
Why
put
do
her
you
up there?
hate women so much?
Exactly.
And that's where
you come back with.
Not only is it going to be about the old white men thing, it's going to be about the fact that she's a woman.
Yep.
Why do you hate brown people
that
so
she's
much?
a younger person, that apparently the youth is not
Why do you
being
hate
heard.
the youth of America so much?
Exactly.
Yes.
It's going to go on with this, and they're going to play on people's supposed prejudices, and in order for people to be like, no, we're not prejudiced, we'll prove it by putting you on the stage.
Exactly. And there it goes.
But here's the
That's what
greatest
we
part.
want.
This is going to be the payoff for everything, is that if and when we finally get her to the stage, she is going to bomb so badly.
Oh, it'd be horrible. It'll be
badly.
Well, first of all,
it'll be comedy.
we don't know that, so be careful.
Calm down there, big guy.
Don't get over. Don't get cocky.
Well, yeah,
I'm just saying, because you don't.
Right.
I mean, that's what we hope is going to happen. I mean,
okay, let's hear this.
Here's
I wanna hear this.
let me.
Okay.
Here's the thing. She will bomb. She doesn't know what she's talking about the vast majority of the time.
She's unintelligent.
And even the things that she says, like even if she is trying to explain something that she doesn't, it's all word salad. She can't get it out. She doesn't know how to explain it in great detail.
What was that for?
Just because it could.
Okay.
It's right there.
I'm going to take it away from you. But then the left will be forced to defend her.
Well,
And
I think
that's
that
gonna
was
be the
Doc's
big
genius.
payoff.
That's the whole point.
And I think that was the whole point
Yeah.
that Doc came up with, because
Yes.
she'll get up there and she's got a group of people who follow her that will say, oh, she's right, we love her, blah, blah, blah. Because what did Nancy Pelosi say last week? The Democratic, well, that too. But she came out and she said the Democratic Party needs to be moderate.
Right.
We can't be over on the progressive side. What a nuclear bomb over there, because now the left's going to have to say, well, her ideas, this is what we want, this is what we need. And you watch the mainstream media pick this up and run, because they will. This is the mainstream media wants this Democrat Party.
Right.
This is what Pelosi said.
We have no taint.
We have no taint.
No taint?
We have no
She has no
taint.
taint?
No taint.
We have no taint.
I had not heard that. So anyway, Operation AOC. Hashtag let her voice be heard. Jack Holes, Jill Holes, Cartellians, Morning Show, Daily Show, all shows. Get out there and start tweeting that, retweet it. Let's get this thing trending in 30 days. Every day. You have to do it every single day. I'm throwing out the Jack Hole Challenge.
Yep. Oh, they're up for it.
Get out there every single day. You're tweeting
Bill.
at 3, 4, 5 times a day. You're retweeting everybody else. Because Twitter will think this is a good thing.
Yes,
Let her voice be heard.
yes.
How can that be bad?
When it trends,
Can it be worse than Alyssa Milano not wanting to have sex?
And inadvertently promoting abstinence.
I know! They're genius, aren't they?
And there you have it.
We want women to get abortions, but we're not going to have sex. Thank you.
Yeah, exactly.
All right. My
Maybe
job,
that was the whole point.
My job is done here.
The conservative cartel immediately following the program that you're currently listening to immediately. Unless, of course, you're listening to the podcast, in which case you'll need to go back and download the Conservative Cartel with Matlock podcast, which you will find at the same place you found this program to download on your podcast device.
Yeah.
And make sure you tell at least one friend.
Yes.
Speaking of faith, see the story about the guy in Philly? He acted as his own attorney. He was acquitted of murder after 13 years in prison.
That's
13. Can you imagine being locked up for 13 years?
for something you never did.
When you know you didn't do it.
Yeah, yeah.
He stood before a jury in Philadelphia recently. He didn't want to pretend he'd been anywhere else. He dressed for court each day in a powder blue prison uniform with DOC written on the back in big bold letters throughout the 11-day trial, explained to jurors why they could not find him guilty of second-degree murder. He says, they told me not to wear a prison uniform. I'm here in front of you wearing a prison uniform.
Mm-hmm.
He said, they told me not to let you see my prison armband. I show you my prison armband. They told me not to stand in front of you representing myself. Here he was, and they acquitted him.
Mm.
That is faith. That is perseverance. That is...
that's the state getting it wrong.
Which is, I know, and it's the only time... Because I've been pro-death penalty. I mean, especially in the cases where you've got the scumbags, have done it, they've whatever. But then that one case...
Yeah.
Where, I don't know. And so that's the only, as you get older, I think that's the one thing that does kind of scratch the back of your brain a little bit is, what if we made a mistake?
But here's I understand that from time to time the justice system is going to get it wrong, right? It happens all the time. It sucks. But I am not a proponent of the whole, better 10 guilty men go free than one innocent man go to prison. That's a
Unless
horrible thing.
what if you're that one innocent man?
I mean, that really sucks,
Yeah.
and I'm going to fight my ass off to get out and prove my innocence. But at the same time, there are times like this when I just get so angry at the idea of why. Have you ever seen 12 Angry Men?
Yep.
Okay. The entire story was based off of somebody just looking and sounding like they should be there, and so he gets put there. Despite the fact that there's evidence clearly pointing to the fact, there are doubts within the evidence that say that he was there.
Right.
And you have to be beyond a shadow of a doubt before you can be guilty.
Right.
But here we are, a guy clearly there couldn't have been enough evidence to convict him, but he still went to jail.
Right.
Why? What was the story behind it?
Prejudices, and
I'm pretty sure it had something to play with that. And this is coming from a guy who's usually like prejudices. Come on, everybody. But this is one of those actual moments where a prejudice had to have played a part, and that to me is sad. That somebody had to get. And it's not just murder cases; it's also rape cases. A woman can just say, "Yeah, I this guy raped me." Really? Do you have proof? No. All right. Well, 30 years in prison then, I guess.
Hashtag believe women.
Exactly. And I hate that. I if the guy has a previous history of violence and mayhem and stuff like that, I can understand. But if not, maybe we should look into it a little bit further. Let the investigation go on a lot more. Because you're about to basically ruin a man's life off of a hunch.
Well, here's the other thing. In the original statements to police, the guy, they said basically he committed the crimes with two other guys. And these two other guys identified him as the shooter, but at the trial they recanted, saying that a homicide detective had coerced them into making the statements.
Wow.
Bennett maintained his innocence from the start, told police he was on the phone with a friend at home when he heard the shots ring out, and ran to the scene to see what happened. But he said his original lawyer failed to introduce the phone records or call the witnesses that he believes would have supported his alibi, saving him years in prison. That is, I don't know what lesson that teach. I mean, because I believe everything in life has a lesson. Even if it's sometimes you're stupid and make bad decisions, and that's your lesson. But I mean, what do you take away as this guy who spent 13 years in prison for something that he didn't do?
Yeah.
What's the lesson?
Yeah.
Is it never give up? Is it the system is corrupt? Is it? And by the way, he's a black guy.
Yeah.
I don't know what the. I mean, I have. At that point, yes, God has a sixth sense of humor, because it's like, why in the hell am I in prison for 13 years? Well, first of all, I know God didn't put him there, man did.
Yeah.
But but this guy never gave up.
Yeah.
He never gave up. He had faith, and doesn't say if he's Christian, Muslim, whatever he is, doesn't really give that information here, I don't believe. But the fact that he never gave up The fact that I'd love to know what the lesson he learned from this is.
Yeah. And who knows how this changed his life? Hopefully for the better. I don't know, but
Yeah, exactly. Because he has. And believe me, I would not fault him for a second for being pissed off at the system. For being angry with the legal system, with police, with everything else.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it's stories like that just blow me away.
Yeah. No, and I feel society owes people like that a huge debt. Huge debt. If you are wrongfully convicted and you spend years in prison.
I have a sneaky feeling the city of Philadelphia, once the civil suit is filed, I think that there will be that debt will be repaid in gold.
You think? Because I've heard horror stories where they get out and they're like, "Oh, our bad. Here's a few $1,000s."
Stephen, not Paddock, dude, Making of a Murderer. Stephen. Kathleen Zellner represents him now. Making a Murderer.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
He's in prison right now.
Yeah.
And the whole reason I think that they're not taking the new evidence that she's dug up is because they realize if they are proven wrong, millions of dollars are going to be transferred from the Milwaukee account to Stephen's account.
Yeah.
I want to say Stephen Airy, but I know it's not Stephen Airy.
Well, he does look like a serial killer.
He does look like a
Stephen Airy.
Yeah.
Have you ever talked to the guy for 5 minutes?
Stephen Avery.
Yeah.
But it was very close.
Yeah, very close.
And Stephen Airy looks like he should be in prison.
Coincidence,
so, yeah.
Brad? I
don't
not.
think so.
I think not.
But so I think that if this guy wants and I don't blame him for filing a civil suit. If he does, and I hope he does, cha-ching.
Yeah, no.
But does that make up for 13 years of your life?
No. Because it's not just a cash sum that's going to fix everything. You have to understand you're 13 years out of the system, out of the workplace. Your entire resume is, I spent 13 years in prison.
Mm-hmm.
You're not going to have many options after that.
No.
All right. Your best bet and a lump sum of change thrown at you after that's only going to last you so long.
Perhaps a talk show host at MoJo 50.
Well, yeah, anybody can be a host.
Right. If you can fog a mirror, you can host a show at MoJo 50.
That's right, folks. That's because we're the People's Network, Brad. That's what it is.
For and of the peeps.
That's right. But yeah, no, I feel this way about a lot of things that our system does to people. Nonviolent drug offenders, for instance, there's minimum mandatory sentencing in many, many, many states. So let's say you get caught with a little bit of weed, you go to jail for 5 years.
It's asinine.
It is absolutely asinine. You go to jail for 5 years. During that 5 years, you're institutionalized, you're hardened. You come out and the only thing that you have to your name is the clothes on your back and no work history whatsoever for the last 5 years. You now have a prison sentence on your record. You've been to federal prison. So what are you going to do? You're going to come out and you're going to try to get a job. People are going to be reluctant to hire you.
You know the story of the guy at Babe's Chicken.
What do you turn back to? Crime.
Is he the media? Let's see. Is he marketing? I can't remember. I think his name's Gene. Years in prison.
Mm-hmm.
And he's they hired him at Babe's. A fascinating story, and I wish I could remember it right now, but I'll have that. I'll remember. We need to get him on the program.
Yeah.
Again, spent time in prison, and it's pretty amazing the resiliency that this guy has.
Yeah.
And just an incredible story. Real quickly, I want to tell you about does your gun safe tell you when somebody's messing with it? I have a big gun safe at home. Mine doesn't even tell me when somebody's messing with it.
Does it even talk to you at all?
It doesn't. And I'll walk by it every day and I'll say,
Doesn't
hey,
ask you how your day is?
What's up? And it's like nothing, crickets. And I think that's because there's crickets underneath it or behind it.
Oh, yeah.
Because it's...
so it has more of a relationship with the crickets.
Right, it really does. No, I'm not worried about anybody messing with it because the thing weighs as much as a car, and you couldn't possibly... you could... But if you've got a little, if you have the gun box sitting right next to your bed, or maybe you're traveling with the gun box Echo, and you want to know when somebody's messing with it, especially the gun box 2.0 at home.
Mm-hmm.
If you're not home, somebody breaks and messes, even if it's one of your kids, even if it's a spouse, whatever, they mess with the gun box, they pick it up, they move it, they rattle it around, you get an alert on your cell phone.
Yep.
How cool.
Pretty awesome.
Is that?
Pretty awesome.
That is amazing. Gunbox mobile alerts. You can get the subscription. You can get the app there. You can go to gunbox.com. You can see the models of the Gunbox, and then you can see the apps. All you do is compare models. It's a little drop down on their website, or excuse me, products, and you'll see it right there.
I gotta say, we sell some of the coolest stuff.
And I saw. So, did you see the tweet over the weekend? Somebody else bought a Gunbox, and they said, "Yeah, I mean, they're gonna have to get a second job or stop listening to you."
Get a second job.
All we do is tell you about cool stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, you know,
we don't force you to buy it.
That's just a good idea. I mean,
we just strike up very convincing arguments for you to buy it.
Yeah.
That's all we do.
And quite frankly, if the Gunbox wasn't a sponsor of this program, I'd still say they were very cool.
Yeah,
and I said they were very cool for a while.
Yeah.
The other place. And then when we ran into them at the SHOT Show, I was like, I love your stuff. And they were like, yeah, where are you now? And, Doc's there. And yeah, until he went on vacation. What was the last time you heard Doc tell you about the Gunbox, all right?
Yeah, seriously.
Jeez.
We're here doing all the hard work.
I'm telling you, he's on the beach soaking up the rays.
The
Gunbox.com, just take a look at the mobile alerts app, and you will be amazed. Nobody will mess with your gun. Don't bet. I see your finger on the button in there. We have all kinds of time left there. Ron just, you know what? He gets all anxious. He's your typical white male. He's just full of angst and worry.
He's like a walking, talking Linkin Park song.
And right,
Look at him there.
And right now he's thinking, if I had a gun, I'd shoot you through the glass because you called for me a little while ago and I was over there. And now that I'm here, you don't want me here.
You can't get the gun, though, because it's in the gun box.
Right. And I'll get an alert, Ron, before you get the gun. And just saying. This story made me think of Dan Andros. A woman died from rabies after rescuing a puppy while on vacation.
That's unfortunate.
Norwegian
woman. That's like a double letdown.
I know. A cute puppy. That again, it's like that's a paradox of life. Oh, look at the cute little puppy. And deadly. Cute, but deadly. She played with an infected puppy that she attempted to rescue while on vacation. This is, again, a woman from Norway. She was on vacation in Thailand.
Oh, no.
Or, excuse me, the Philippines.
Oh, no.
24-year-old Brigitte Kalstead traveling in the Philippines with friends in February when they found a puppy on the side of the road. She took the puppy back to the resort where she washed and played with it. The puppy. She received some small scrapes from the animal, her family said. She washed these nicks without seeking medical treatment. You know, I'm sorry. You're in a country like that. You see a puppy on the side. What do you do?
Oh, it's a puppy.
I know. It's
Immediately,
like
I'm going over this. Oh my God! Like, it is part of human nature.
It is.
We're wired to do that, believe it or not.
But I'm thinking, I'm over there in the Philippines. I don't know. Could be a bomb. I mean, I think about it. You're in
that dog could be wired. I don't know.
It was essentially
ever since the Great Dog Wars.
The
1950.
Back in the aughts. She began to. You don't very often hear about people dying of rabies anymore.
Did she know she had it?
She began to experience symptoms. She visited the emergency room several times.
And the docs were like, it's no big deal. Take some aspirin.
Right.
What the hell, man?
It's a rabies. First of all, you know what they have to do? Okay, here are the signs.
Oh, it's brutal.
Flu-like symptoms, general weakness, fever and headache, followed by more severe symptoms, including anxiety, confusion, hallucinations, and insomnia. Sounds like divorce to me. There's a vaccine for rabies, but in order to be effective, must be given before symptoms appear. And whenever you're like bitten by a wild animal or whatever, you know what they have to do to the animal. Shoop, cut the head off.
Oh, that's sad.
And then like go into the brain and I don't know, they taste the brain or something. If it tastes funny, they have rabies.
Yeah.
Then you have to get the shots in your stomach. It's a sucky disease.
Yeah. Ugh.
So I think the lesson here is clear. Do not play with cute things in the Philippines.
Have they actually like improved rabies cures like since the Middle Ages?
I know, right? It's like, first we're going to have to hit you over the head with this rock and cause your skull to fracture. Then we can insert the needle between the fracture points and inject the chemicals directly into your brain.
That's right. And that's before the leeches.
Right,
by the way.
the leeches.
We have to put the leeches on.
Then you have to have a mouthful of maggots. You'll have to have the mouthful of maggots.
That is correct. Yes, the mouthful of maggots. And then we will have two preachers come in, douse you with holy water.
Yes. And those little creatures that swim up your urethra.
Yes, I was going to add the little creatures that do that. And then, of course, after that, the maiden virgins who have to come and urinate on your open wounds.
That's just disgusting. Ron? Where are you, Ron? What? We were waiting on you. Gee.
What do you mean it's We were just wasting time! understand the maiden virgin thing was like a call? It was a call for help, Ron?
I told
When I talk
ya.
about maiden virgins peeing on people, you immediately go, oh, God, he's in trouble.
I told you it's going to be all over the
He's in
place
trouble.
today.
Save them quickly.
Save me.
But this is the end of Doc Thompson's Daily Mojo. Before we go, as always, let's find out what we learned today. We learned I should apologize to my neighbors for the screams heard this weekend coming from my house. No one was being killed.
He was just getting it on.
Refer to the first hour of the program. You'll understand. We learned that Alyssa Milano finally came out in support of abstinence. Proof God has a sense of humor.
What a wonderful woman.
Right? And we learned finally, and I think most shockingly, we learned that Brandon Morse isn't perfect.
Well, you know.
And you know what? You drop these things on in the middle of a show.
I am incredibly humble. I am so humble. Very few people are as humble as I am.
When I think of humility, I think of the Brandon Morse.
That is right.
What, if anything, did you learn today?
Oh, you know what? I learned that if you really need to drink, grab a bunch of alcohol, go to Costco and they just let you have it.
Yeah.
You just walk out with it.
It's more of a suggestion when they're looking at your. Remember, it's just to make sure you got everything you paid for.
Yeah, exactly. But the more alcohol you have, the better.
Yes.
You know, the more they like it when you just walk out.
Yes.
That's what I learned today.
By the way, your odds improve if you're a hot chick.
Also true, but the guy who walked out was like a black guy. He's a black guy.
Was it a hot chick, though, who was checking him out?
No.
Oh.
No, it was not.
Then I got no clue.
Let's see. Black bears they're capable of bribery, so I imagine that soon they'll be a part of our U.S. government.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Not the ones by the MoJo River, though. That's
they're peaceful. Yeah. They're a peaceful species who intends to harm no one and would just prefer to be left alone.
Yes.
I had a conversation with one the other day. It was very pleasant.
Exactly.
Very libertarian attitude.
Mm-hmm.
I was really appreciative of it. Mm-hmm. Let's see here. Also, I learned that if you're going to move, or if you're being forced to move, commit a crime. Go to jail.
That's right.
You will be much happier if you do.
What, if anything, did the jackholes learn today?
Let's see here. Leprechaun 420 said the bell count for today's show is 8 missed innuendo bells, 30 actual bells, 0 horns, 2 AOC guitar strums, and 3 rim shots. Hashtag let her voice be heard. Kurt's Tasty Jill Hole said, what I learned today, Handicap Jeff needs more cameos.
He's still trying to come up the stairs.
Oh, my God.
He's been here since 5.
Yeah,
he'll get here.
He's still making his way downtown.
He'll get here.
Making him way.
You know what I'm saying? And I think you do.
Handicap Jeff doesn't work on Mondays.
That's implying he works any of the other days. Notice he's not here to turn the mic off, because if he was, I wouldn't be able to say. We'll get to the new numbers on procrastination as soon as the obviously well-tanned Doc Thompson returns from his Florida vacation. I mean, seriously.
Yeah.
Not even a phone call.
Yeah.
Your Daily Mojo, in the meantime, is a Ron Phillips production when he's not doing somebody else's job, apparently. And wherever you go, whatever you do, live by the 5 rules. You got a shot at being right and being happy. Unless you're in the Philippines. Good night, Doc Thompson.
Wherever you are!
Yeah.
This is the seditious, rabble-rousing, liberty-loving, home of fun, entertainment.